We
And
live. We live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. You better listen up, shut up, and keep up with my man Cliff Focus. We have a special guest coming through. He's having some technical difficulties. It's all good. He's transferring from the crazy but true universe. We can't wait to get down with him. Actually, one of our co-hosts, Nay, as told by Nay, she's kind of a regular on the show. So she's like kind of like an unofficial co-host.
absolutely
They'll tell us what her official capacity is.
official. She's official. Let's
She is
say that
official.
now.
That's what I thought because I saw her mad episodes, and I'm like, what is she like? Also on the show too? What are you double dipping, Nay? All good. And we miss you, Nay. She's got a vacation going on right now, and so, but we miss her, and but you're gonna love the show right now. So let's get into it.
Oh, hold on. I'm slacking. I was doing promo. Hold on.
Okay,
All right.
no, we don't have to like. We'll wait just like 2 seconds. I got you, guys. I got you.
Yeah. I was trying to send the show out to a couple more people before we got rolling. Try to get a few more eyes up in here. You know.
Let's while we're waiting for TJ, this was his segment, and he'll come in. Mental health check. I think that's very important. I saw an interview with Jay-Z one time, and he made a great idea. He said it should be not illegal, but like it should be the government should put more of an emphasis to give each of us either a caseworker for free or a psychologist or a therapist. And I totally agree. I know that's expensive, but the money that we throw on, like, in my opinion, frivolous stuff and things that like we don't really need to. A lot of people think that we need to be in a military state. A lot of people think that we need to be totally intervention, which I've changed my opinion on. I know this is going to sound weird. From watching Homeland. Wow, right? It sounds like, yeah, man. Are you a doctor, Vince? No, I stayed at a Holiday Inn, though. So that's what it sounds like when I say that. I watched Homeland, and so all my foreign policy has changed. Also, I read a John Bolton book. He used to be the ambassador for the Bush administration, and he was the head national security for Trump. So he's very inside. He's a lifer. I know a lot of people, and including myself, I don't think people should be career politicians, even though I want to get into politics. Very hypocritical of me. But that's what I am. Biracial people are double standards, and I'm a Gemini. I'm allowed to cross over. But anyway,
Right.
So back to mental health. We all need it, man. There's so many people that carry trauma over, and they pass it over. Whether I remember I saw a stat: if you've been molested, you're 75% more likely to molest someone else. So pain just transfers over, and even like less stuff. Even like, if my father runs, I'm not gonna go too deep, but like, he was in the foster system a little bit. He's been through a lot of turbulence, and sorry, he hasn't seeked that much mental help. And a lot of people rely on their spouses, their girlfriends, their mothers, and they don't get it, and that's why actually there's this huge statistic, and I know we have a bunch of stats on here. Thanks, Cliff. There's this huge statistic. Women, actually around the world, the number one death for women is homicide. And the number one death, it used to be heart attacks and breast cancer in America. Now it's infanticide again. It's men just, and in India, we don't have this story. It's all good. This young woman just got murdered by her ex-husband. And in India, they have very lax laws, especially protecting women. You would think, and that's one of those places where, like, I know a lot of times I'm like, wow, this is like third world when it comes to women. No, India decided to say, yo, I hold my beer. But anyway, this is. So I give some tips and tidbits and some fun facts, but let's really check in. Thank you, TJ, for being here. Cool ass TJ.
Yes, sir.
Crazy but true podcast. So I just gave a bunch of boring stats. Take it away on mental health, TJ.
Listen, man, I'm just glad to be here. Thank y'all for having me on Keep Up.
My man.
Let's get into it. I'm done talking. Let's get into it. But first, we have to start with the mental health check. That's something that we do on Crazy But True, the podcast. We love starting the pod, checking in with the people, letting them know how we doing. Just give them a mental health number on where we at in life this week. So I got to ask y'all, man, first tell people how y'all doing. And then after how y'all doing, let's give them a mental health number of where y'all at just this week.
Go first, Cliff. Please.
You go first. I'm all right. You know, I'm in an emotionally abusive relationship at times. You know what I'm saying? I got 3 kids, 2 of whom, you know, I live with my current girl. So, you know, mental health is something I focus on daily, right?
Important.
Right. I focus on it daily. You know, what I do, like I've never been to therapy or anything like that, technically, like traditional therapy, but I've done a lot of deep diving in like you know, Buddhist theologies and things like that, because it's all about, you know, the main thing with Buddhism that helped me, and I'm not religious at all. It's not the religious aspect of it, but they teach you to never dive too deep into anything you're feeling, whether it's
Ooh,
happy, whether it's sad, no matter what the feeling is, understand that's just what you're feeling at that moment, and not to, you know, overindulge in any emotion, positive
ooh,
or negative, you know.
ooh.
So, you know, I did a lot of diving in that. That's helped my mental a lot. Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tolle or Tolle. He's the man, you know, things like that. Yeah. And if I'm not on top of my mental health every day, you might see me on the news. So
Gotta
I
be.
gotta be on it. You know
Gotta
what I
be.
mean?
So what number are you at? 10 being you good, everything is straight. And 1 mean send some help, pray for me. Where you at as far as a number on your mental health?
So what are we saying? Like today, the last week? So
As of
just sort
right
of
now, today, this
today.
current moment right now, where you at?
Well, the family's on vacation in Florida, so I'm like
Ooh.
a 49 right now. You know what
Okay, that's what's up, family.
I mean?
You at home chilling. Mental health is up.
Word
Mental health is up. That's what's up.
at the moment.
That's
Where
what's up.
you at? Where you at, my good brother?
I am in a 5. I'll be honest.
Ooh,
Yeah.
talk about it, man. What's going on over there?
Uh, I'm just having problems communicating. It's like maybe I know I try to like narrow it down, but I'm pretty sure it's more frequent that I'm saying. But I think like what I notice, there's like 2 times a year where I'm just like nuclear, like I'm just like toxic, like, and I try really hard. Like I don't know if it's like, and again, I'm not like super into horoscopes and astrology, but a lot of people go, that's because you're a Gemini, Vince, or like that's because you're just an asshole, or and I know that's my brand. Not sometimes, most of the time my brand. I love Larry David. He's like my spirit animal. But every once in a while, I'm sure, and that's a hyperbole of him. He's admitted that himself. That it's like a hyper version of him. So I'm sure, like he can't be like that consistently all day and like try to live a normal life. So it gets to me sometimes. There's certain people that only follow the show if they're like happy with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's hard to like have friends and family like to rely on the podcast. That's fine. Um, I didn't mean to mention this, but like, I've been thirst trapping a little bit on the account. That's why we got to talk about it. We need to separate one day, which I'm not going to go hardcore. But I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I need that type of attention too. I'm not
Right.
gay, by the way, guys. Not to you guys. You guys know that. But like, sorry, guys out there that I've been thirst trapping with the tongue and all that kind of stuff. But like, and thank you, Mina. Thank you for stopping by again. We love having you here. Yeah, but even so, like I'm like seeking attention in the wrong spots. That's what I'm saying. Because like I'm just lonely. I'm lonely. My dog. I'm like not that I'm lonely with her. I'm like so sad that like within within a year, I'm probably gonna lose her soon. Very sad about that. I feel like when people help me out with that, it's like a chore. And I hate that because she's been in the family for so long. So it's like, why are you doing her dirty like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, vitality. There's just all types of things while I'm halfway. Sorry. I need a therapist. And I've been paying so much with the dog, I had to stop doing that. I was doing telehealth and it became so expensive with the dog. I'm like, I'll get back to my telehealth when I don't spend $1,000 on a dog every month.
Listen, that 5 is low, but that's why I'm here. Hopefully, by the end of the show, by mid-show, that 5 is running up, is going up, and by the end, we close to about a 9 to 10 by the end of the show, man.
Good. Right. I'm open to that.
We treat today like therapy. Well, for me, man, so far so good for me. I'm getting a little nervous because the summer is starting to wind down a little bit for me. I know not like for other people, but I'm in, the education system. So the summer's starting to wind down. So my mental health is starting to shake a little bit. So I'm about at a 7, right? I'm about at a teetering 7 right now. But summer winding down, so I'm starting to switch my mind back into, getting back into work and, getting on a little sleeping schedule. That's the worst, man. That's the worst. So I'm getting there. I'm at a 7 right now, but I'm pretty sure my show is gonna be dropped by the end of the show, and I'm gonna be up. And I'm gonna be up for the show. So, all right, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in, and I'd love for y'all. I'd love for all the listeners to check in as well. Let us know your mental health number. Where you at this week? Where you at right now? How your week been? Check in with us. Give us that number.
Right.
How are you not on like a midnight program, like a radio station? What is going on? I feel like I'm one of the listeners. I feel like I called you up and was like, "Yo, Les Brown, like, yo, talk to me."
Listen, that's my gift. That's how I win. That's how I win everybody. It's the sound.
That's an understatement. Your
voice.
voice
Don't even listen to what I say. They just listen to my voice.
And not even just a voice. Like, you're just like a great presence. Like, your MC. Like, you just had us captivated like right away. Like, he came into the pre-meeting. We were like, yes. We drank all the Kool-Aid. We were like,
yes, TJ's good people, man.
I don't mean to disagree with you, Cliff. Not that I disagree. You got your own stuff with like how you internalize things. For me personally, very personal. And I mention this all the time. I gotta stop mentioning this. It's like my go-to. And I usually go to Walt Disney for the go-to. But Inside Out is one of my favorite Disney movies because they use all the feelings in the toolbox. And I remember, what was it? Which is apropos. Lewis Black, who I like blow up, and even some of my segments are kind of like, a copy of him, like being a little stirred and then just going all wild. I love him. But when it wasn't him, it was the sadness. I forgot who played that voice. But when she left, it crumbled the whole operation. And so that's what I'm trying to say. So I lean into my feelings, whether I'm being very happy, which could be kind of very bipolar, to be honest. But I lean into my feelings because it just helps me, in my opinion. Maybe
acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Don't let them control you. I think that's the key.
I agree. Don't let it consume.
You know what I mean?
No, that definitely happens to me. I get in the rabbit hole, like the Buddhists say, and something like that.
Yeah, be present. You know what I mean?
That's man. And it's probably it's the Drake in you, Vince. That's all. It's the Drake coming out.
It's the light skin. It's the light skin brother. It's the light skin brother in him.
I'm coming home.
Right. Every light skin have that Drake moment. So you just Draking right now. You'll get out of it soon. Don't worry.
He definitely encouraged me to get more in my bag of feelings. Maybe that's why in the pre-show I was going to bat for him like that. I'm like, yo, and now I get to rap about my feelings. Now I get to talk about the girl that hurt my feelings. Thanks, Drake. Thanks.
No, but that's what it should be, right? Like, that's the whole point. It's like, acknowledge them and address them. This fighter actually, this dude, Patty Pimblett, after his win yesterday.
I could have brought that on, actually. Go ahead.
Oh, you seen him talk about the mental health?
That was a good speed. That went viral. That was good.
Yeah. I actually clipped it, but I didn't put it out.
Before that because of the weight loss, which was crazy too. But yes.
Yeah, a friend of his committed suicide right before the fight, a couple days, and he was like, listen, he's like, there's too much of a stigma, especially with men. Like, men globally are 2 times more likely, and in the Western world, 4 to 5 times more likely to commit suicide because of the stigma of men can't be, talk about their feelings. Men can't, and I've always been the type where, like, all my peoples, I've always been the dude to check in, because if you don't check in on dudes, a lot of times we're not going to tell you what we're really feeling.
I could back that up. He definitely does. Definitely does. In the middle of, like, while we're talking shop, he'll just be like, he'll either like tell, like, he'll be like, yo, I'm going through so, like, if you notice any, which I don't. I'm like, I always think you're working hard. So he gives me like a little heads up. And then also he asked about me too. So I really appreciate that, Cliff. I really appreciate you bringing this in, TJ.
It's important.
It's
important. Mental health is important.
You might send us a cease and desist. We might like integrate this.
Yeah. Yo, did you copyright mental health check-in? I hope so. Trademark coming. Keep up.
We gotta talk about that.
It's cool. I think everyone should do that. That's something I do within my classes. Like when I'm teaching, like before I even do a lesson, let me check in with my students. Let me see where their mental is, so that they have me better.
What do you teach, TJ?
Right.
You don't have to go too.
Real quick, I'm gonna let y'all guess. I'm gonna give y'all one guess a piece before I tell y'all. This is the
what subject?
So it's high school, or middle school. High school. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be lazy because I used to teach you U.S. history. Do you teach history?
I think language arts, or like
Definitely language arts English.
Nice.
Language
Oh,
arts.
12th grade senior English.
humanities over here. I like it.
Yeah.
The big kids. So
That's what's up.
That's
It's really-
good.
so
I'm
it's
happy about that. We need more educators like you, man. That's amazing.
that's another topic. That's another podcast. But we definitely need more educators, especially more minority educators for sure.
And you're so well-rounded. Like you're like a real person. Like that. When I'm in an industry where it's like kind of polished too, and I'm not trying to like speak for them, but they've said it like, yo, Vince, we like that. And you said it in the pre-recording. We like when you're authentic, Vince. Sometimes I apologize. I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, no, Vince, we really like that. That's why we like working for you. And when I was a teacher, very briefly, I tried to be like that too. And I tried to be like, yes, I'm here to do my job. I'm here to teach you. And I'm not going to like divulge my whole like business, my whole personal life, but just know that I have a personal life too. I'm a real person. Like they found out I went to Coachella. They found out I went to Coachella when Digital Tupac was there, and I had like this big tan, and they're like, "Where'd you go?" And they were so shocked. They were like, "Mr. Sanders, you went to Coachella." I'm like, "Yeah, why is it a big deal? Why can't I live my life? Why can't I bring my mental health to 10? Why can't?"
Right, but I think that's actually what's helped society become better and more wary of mental health, and all that ties in like 15, 20 years, maybe 20, 25 years ago, like a teacher couldn't be just a regular guy. Now like it's actually accepted. Like, bro, I remember like going on my first job interviews, and I'm a little older than both of y'all, not by a ton, but I got some years on y'all. But I remember like,
happy birthday, Cliff. It was this week. Happy birthday. Hey, 35 3 times.
35 a bunch of times. And that's my age. You ask my age, that's my age. 35 a bunch of times. But I remember going on my first job interviews, like, oh, there cannot be one piece of hair on your face. You have to be totally clean shaven. And now you see dudes that manage places with earrings and nose rings, and because that shouldn't define
with
you.
With a man bun. I've seen people in a professional, which I don't think it's unprofessional. And you're right. Yeah. I've actually, not just with rap or anything, I've actually become less of a snob, except for movies and television. But everything else, I've become less of a snob. So when it comes to corporate life, I used to be like that. Only because I was conditioned that way, because I was just so used to like that was the way to get my foot in the door. But now, if it were up to me, if I was in the hiring process, as long as you do the job, I don't care. I don't want to like out this person, but I was working at this place and I was like filling in as a manager, and nice. And the person admitted to me, she banged through all these emails. I didn't even think of anything. And she goes like this, Vince, I have to tell you something. She's smoking a cigarette on the roof. I'm like, what's up? I thought it was like something serious. And I was filling in. I didn't really care. And she goes, I'm like on too much Adderall right now. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, you're not mad at me? I'm like, no, you're an adult. Like, God, do what you got to do.
Do your
like,
job.
Do your job. Yeah. So like, I'm not like encouraging that. I'm not like being like, there's different circumstances that actually can make that more extreme. But like at that moment, I was just like, do you like what you got to do?
Yeah, people should be judged and defined by jobs, their experience and who they are as a person. And in real life, who they are as a person. Of course, you know what I mean? But
I also do think you shouldn't F yourself, though. I agree. So one of my friends has like braids right now, and he decided to and that's fine. I love braids. I love dreads. I love all that. He's Hispanic. He's very light skinned. He's very, very pale. He's like paler than me. And he decided to get braids and brought braids and all good. But like 36 is the time to experiment with your hair. And he's making a career pivot. I'm not going to say what it is, where he's like transitioning from, but like, I'm like, dude.
Oh, he's transitioning?
And I got what he said. His rebuttal was, oh, my bad. No, not that way.
You can't even use that word anymore.
Yeah, right. And he was like, when I said that, I was like, but I'm like, dude, like, that's how it is, especially where you're looking to transition to blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, that shouldn't be. I don't want to work there if they're like, they don't want to hire me for my hair, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you don't have the resume to combat that. Like, you don't have like,
right.
I get that. I'm with you. Like, fight the power, but like,
yeah, you still got to be aware, right? I mean, it doesn't mean you should go into a job, with a gun on your hip and a tattoo on your face. You know what I mean?
Definitely not saying that, but we definitely talk about that. Like, when is it too old to stop like her experimenting? Because that's definitely a thing. Like,
Because I'm
Job,
definitely a prude in that area.
some jobs definitely pay attention to that. I'm gonna tell you how, because one time I went to the job and a lady instantly told me, "Oh, your haircut is nice." Like that was one of the first things she said. So that's how I know her
Right.
kind of really
Oh, yeah.
matters a little bit. They
Right.
see if you clean cut, nice shaven.
Right. Right.
They try to. They don't. They're only seeing you once or twice, maybe even 3 times. They have to surmise in their head who you are, and it's a big investment too. Most hiring, like it's a
Right.
big
Right.
investment. So like you have to try to use your stereotypes, even though they're not right. Use your tropes,
Right.
all that stuff. You have to like use it all together. And for me, if I was hiring someone, I'm bad. Not bad, but this is so weird the way I would do it. And actually, no, I have hired people. And, I don't know if I'm like divulging too much, but so for instance, like if someone has a bunch of hair and it's like, and it just looks sloppy, it looks like, then I'm gonna be like, no, that's unprofessional.
Right.
But if someone had like a cool ponytail or like, cool, like even with the dreads, like they put it in a cool way and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's dope. I like that. Like you just didn't like just do it just to do it. Like you did it. And also like I'm like, and I'm also, it's so funny. I don't love racial appropriation. I don't love like when people say that, like you should be able to like do what you got to do. But I'm not gonna lie, it looks weird on some people. Some people I'm just like, what are you doing?
Listen, I was with you. I was with you up until, to me, it's just not the hair. Like, yeah, if you got like your hair just wild all over your head, all right, I'm gonna kind of tick that off. But then I'm gonna look at everything else.
Right.
Everything else put together nice, put together well. I was like, okay, so they got something. It's something there. The hair not there, but everything else is there. I probably can rock with this.
Right.
My dad used to say,
if the hair messed up and everything else messed up, oh no, we good.
Yeah.
Next.
I agree with you. My dad, when I was younger, he was like, Vince, never get with a girl with bad feet or bad teeth.
I like it.
And I was like, not that like I disagreed. I was so young. I was like, why? And he goes, because if this ain't right or those ain't right, that ain't right. I was like, oh. Yeah. He saw this beautiful girl in the train one time and she's smiling. She had like all this green on the left side of it. He was like, I'm good. And so yeah, I learned from that. And I'm very vain. I'm one of those people that looks at the girl first, and then if she's cool later, that's great. Like that's a bonus.
Yeah, I think that's men. Most men in general.
My family calls me Shallow Val. Shallow Vince. Shallow Hal. I'm like, I can't even argue that.
I think that's most men. Like you can get prettier with a dope personality, but a lot of the times, like you gotta have something physically appealing to start the conversation for a man. I think often.
You got to make an ugly woman your wife. All right.
Right.
Are we good? Should we? Are we all checked in?
And now let's do this. Do the normal joint, and I'll play the actual intro, and then we'll get into the subjects. So this way we don't not play the intro. So I know there's a cut, and now it's topic.
All good.
We didn't do our intro as normal.
Oh, should I do the intro again?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Everybody, listen up. Shut up and keep up with my homeboy TJ and super producer Cliff. We got TJ from the Crazy But True podcast. This is TJ Cool Ass. And we got, again, Cliff Focus from the Whitest Men podcast. Sorry, the Wiggers podcast. Wow. I'm mixing in your email address.
Yeah. I got 10 brands, bro. That's the problem when you got 10 brands.
And these are only on the top of my head. He has a lot of programs out there. And he's got also Regis and Cliffy Lee. You got to check that out. That's also on the live. Our homegirl, Nay, she's off for the week. She is on vacation. And she's also a regular on Crazy But True podcast. So you got to go check that out whenever she's on it.
Right.
Actually, all the time, not just when she's on it. And so let's get into one of our topics. You love it when someone no kids brings up a parental conversation. I know you guys love that. I know you love Vince when he mansplains you how to raise your children. Let's keep that going. Why not? So Alicia Silverstone, actually one of my favorite movies ever is Clueless. I know that sometimes I know that shocks no one here, and it definitely doesn't shock the gay community out there. The gay community that loves me out there. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys definitely know that I have no bounds when it comes to my taste. But Clueless, I love the soundtrack too. Big fan of the soundtrack. I like her. I like Alicia Silverstone. I think she was one of the bright spots of that terrible Batman and Robin movie. That was a terrible movie with the nipples with George Clooney. But anyway, back to her. she has had very controversial stances all her life, especially since she's been a parent. She has an 11-year-old son, and all right, I'm gonna say this, and I've said this before. I don't mind if you don't get vaccinated. It's just that if I was a parent and I had my children vaccinated, I would try to be in areas where like that herd mentality, all that kind of stuff. So that's just me. I'm not trying to like exclude anybody. If it ends up that way, that sucks. Obviously, politics gets in the way of those type of things. I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. Me either. Got to come to a middle ground with that. So anyway, Jim Carrey is one of my favorite comedic actors. He's the same way. All good. Got to do what you got to do. So she's already been controversial with that. She's already been controversial with. She's very unorthodox. She's a very unorthodox parent, and now she's in the news again. She has her own podcast. She has a very a great following on Instagram. She's a great entertainer. She has her son sleeping with her, and I say that as if it's bad. It's not. An 11-year-old sleeping in her bed. Do I think it's a little weird? Yes. Would I do it? No. But the thing that changed my mind a little, it didn't change my mind, but I got the empathy for it. And especially there's so much violence out there today. There's so much violence. There's so many people that just like, we did the mental health check. There's so many people that are on the verge of just like really like getting ticked off and like just going off on people. They're like on their last thread. And so someone in the comment thread, I think it was on Instagram when I was reading one of the stories, they were like, hey, there's just so much craziness going out there. Why are we mad at someone showing a little bit more love to their kid?
Let me pause you. You talk about the comment section. How deep do y'all get into the comment section when y'all read? How many scrolls do y'all give it before y'all get
Depends. Sometimes, again, like Cliff said about the Buddhist thing, I don't want to go into the rabbit hole. Most of the time, it's when someone suggests it, they go, yo, you got to see the comment section.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just get too into it. And then sometimes it gets negative. Sometimes it's something like you believe in, or you feel like you have to like respond. And that's why I don't like read it too much.
Nah,
Cliff,
me neither. Not too much.
How far do you go, Cliff, in the comment section?
Not too far. I think the most unhinged people on the planet at this point are the people who type in comment sections.
The trolls.
You know what I mean? So
we love you, trolls, by the way. Keep trolling us. We love it.
No, but you can have fun with it though. One of the main reasons I stay at the comment section too is because like people like get silly and then you flame broil roast them if you're good at it, and then they report you. Next thing you know, I'm reported. I'm like, you just said some crazy shit. All I did was flatten you. Now I'm reported. You know what I mean?
We will give it to you your way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read these bullet points real quick, and you guys have the floor after that.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone, and this is from insider.com, guys. Alicia Silverstone recently shared in a podcast that she and her 11-year-old son share a bed. A pediatrician said co-sleeping should not happen before 12 months and should stop at pre-puberty. So he's already there. He's at the threshold. Co-sleeping can disrupt sleep for both children and parents. Who goes?
Yeah, TJ.
Listen, I was not surprised. Like, it was a couple of things I wasn't surprised with. First of all, her last name was Silverstone. I was like, oh yeah. And second of all, they didn't go hard enough on this headline. The insider was being too nice, and I read probably 4 other headlines. They didn't go hard enough on this. I'm just saying, and I'm gonna pull the race card just for a second because I think this is kind of funny. If it was a black person, it wouldn't say sharing a bed. They should have went harder on this because this is a little bit.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah, they went through a whole court case.
Come on, man. Come on. Like,
yeah, but that's her own kid.
Though. That wasn't his
kid.
That
don't. Yeah, that don't add up.
That's a little different, but I thought that shit went a little bit harder on her because this is a little bit wild. 11 years old is wild, and then they have the doctor or the psychiatrist to back it up and say that this is wild. This is nasty. Ugh. 11 years old. That's too old. And now I was like, damn. I wonder how long she was breastfeeding this dude too.
Well, what about this?
Not to like take Cliff's
we think this is bad. What about that? This was at 9 years old.
Oh, that's from her. That's from her.
Yes.
Well, that was wild. I remember that too. So, oh my God. Yeah,
but come on, that's 10 times worse.
Not surprised. That's crazy though.
Than the bed joint.
So
that's 10 times worse. Yeah, I mean.
Wow, that's crazy.
My aunt on my dad's side, one of her children, she breastfed until like 5 or 6, and that's not for me. So again, I'm not like really too judgmental on this because again, everybody has to parent the way they want and the way that they can, as long as they're functioning in society. Same thing, same level as the Adderall girl. Same energy on that. But oh, that is so weird. That is so
It
weird.
is.
As
My
far as
only
the
thing
bed
is the
shit,
independence. That's my
Right.
real concern. My
Right.
independence of the children. You only have so much time to kind of instill that in them. And
Right.
how do you wean off of that? How do you wean off of that? How do they not turn into Stewie from Mad TV? Let me do that. Like, how do they not turn into that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard. That's hard not to. Yeah.
Yeah, as a parent, I like, all right. So here's the thing, right? My son is 9, right? And he still sleeps in the bed with his mom like 1-2 days a week. I've been trying to break the habit since birth. You know what I mean? Like, I've been trying to get these kids out the goddamn bed so I can still get some damn pussy. And that hasn't worked out too much in recent years either. But I've been trying to fight it for that reason and for what you said, the independent reason, right? But there's also a big difference between what she's saying. Like, she literally goes out of her way to have her son sleep with her on a nightly basis. You know, that's a little different than like, a child, oh, all right, whatever. I'm going to go lay with mommy, and then they fall asleep or whatever it might be. So it depends on, but when you got a woman then who did this, took baths with a kid, who did this, fed her kid like a bird,
Well,
you
let's put
remember
this
that
out
shit
there,
in
though.
2012? You remember
Oh
that
yeah, I
one?
remember that. I remember that, and that's why she said he doesn't need vaccines because he eats bird food. I was like, wow, okay,
She's a
Tweety Bird
certified
won't catch the COVID. I like that. Okay, okay. I definitely don't. So when I was younger, when I was like about like 4 or 5, every once in a while, like a parent would bring you into like the bathroom just like for a quick shower or something, like maybe 3. It wasn't that far, to be honest. So nudity is nudity. I'm not a big like prude about that. My dad, unfortunately, sometimes he'd be like, naked daddy alert, naked dad, and he would like run out like from the bathroom into his room. So it's not that big of a deal. But you're right. I agree. When you force it, that's so what? Just saw a mom nude. Like, there's worse things that can happen. But you're right. Like, soaking in a tub with him, like, especially he's so young and stuff like that. Like, there's mad things to explain. So I'm like on the fence. I wouldn't do any of these things. I would be on the conservative side of these things.
Me too.
I would, because like I just don't want to mess this kid up. I don't want to mess this kid up. Like, there's so many things that can mess this kid up. I'm gonna be the one to like sexually confuse this kid, or like, I just feel like it's such a tightrope. Again, like, she's got to do what she's got to do. If it's working, it's working. But for me, I don't think that would work. I think my kid would come out really messed up if I was showering with him at like her and him at 11 years old. Like, Dad, enough. Go take your own shower. Get out of here. Like, why is he not saying that?
Yeah, Joe Biden. She's like Joe Biden. Her and Joe Biden are similar.
That's great. And also, like, I was thinking as well, like, as I'm reading this, I'm like, this is so cringy. It's so cringy, dog. I'm like,
right. And what you said too is what makes it extra cringy. Is like, if you read the entire story, like, she's like, the way she explains it is what makes it get even weirder. Like,
say less. Say less, Alicia. Say less. Keep that.
You see this one?
Also, the same time while I was reading, I also was like, but damn, I really can't. I'm not inside, so I really can't tell how she's parenting. Maybe the 11-year-old, maybe something wrong with the 11-year-old. Maybe, I was thinking like, damn, maybe they need it, but I hope they need it. I hope it's for like some kind of emotional type of thing.
Well, you know what it is, TJ?
Oh, good.
What I think it is that she's like an old school classical liberal, right? Like the natural, no vaccine, like you said, this and that. Like, she's like the old, like, that's the irony about the whole vaccine conversation, is the old anti-vaxxers were all the liberals, all the hippies, all the this and that. And then like that, because, so that's what I think with her. Like, she's like that weird, barefoot white liberal
tree hugging
shit. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a hypothetical for you guys. Do you guys remember the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla?
Yeah.
On Comedy Central. Obviously, it wouldn't rock today. So that,
like,
if you got a
and now Jimmy Kimmel is the most bitch ass liberal ever. But let's keep going.
Comedy Central.
And you know what? That's good. That's actually. Oh, God, TJ, what'd you say?
Go ahead.
That's a good debatable too, like devolve or evolve.
Right.
Anyway, so with the Man Show, there was this particular joke, and it's going to lead to my question. They had the Juggies, and if everybody didn't get a chance to watch it, They used to have these women that would jump on trampolines, and throughout the show, they would shake their boobs. It was totally catered to men, like the whole like toxic masculinity stuff. But it was great. It was a good show, to be honest. And so there was this one segment where they transformed his aunt, Jimmy Kimmel. They transformed his aunt into a juggie, and he goes like this. Oh man, I don't know about my cousin, but he told me just after this happened, he's trying to get back in the womb. So what I'm going to say to you guys, what if J-Lo was your mom? Would you be opposed to taking a shower with her at 11?
If she was my adopted mom, I wouldn't.
Right.
Can I please?
Right. If she's the adoptive mom, you're like, I just got my first boner. What do I do? Can you suck it?
So if Sofia Vergara or like somebody that's really hot to you guys, not to say that I want this, like this is not, I'm not trying to go on Pornhub and be like, no stepmom, no mom, no
I don't
brother.
know. I don't know.
But so if it was the hottest girl out there, and I'm not saying you have to sleep with the mom, you'd be like, no mom, I don't want to be in the like.
I get what you're saying. You're saying like if your mom is pretty, do you feel less uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Due to it,
which Alicia Silverstone is the top percentile, even at her age.
But she's pretty. She's pretty. She's not.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's like, no, actually, I don't know what that's called. I forgot. Oedipus. I'm not saying some Oedipus complex. I'm not saying homeboy wants to go bang his mom.
But no.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like
it was a trap. It was a trick, guys. I wanted to see if I had to throw you guys in the Alabama slammer.
What about this one? Did you see this? No punishments. If Bear misbehaves, I just stick my left titty in his mouth.
That always solves my problem. That always pacifies me.
You're grabbing the titty yourself at 11.
Yeah, little bag.
That may or may not be satire, but I just wanted to put that in there.
All good. So let's get down. So since we're go ahead, TJ.
Wait, TJ, what you gonna say, brother?
Question for Cliff. In a perfect world, you said your son is 9. How old or what's the age do you think? All right, no more sleeping in the bed.
It's about to go down because I've been fighting this fight for a long fucking time, And I know it's not no funny shit and no weird shit. It's just, he's a mama's boy. My son is very. Like my daughter is far more like me, you know what I mean? Like just more independent, more strong, more I want to do my own thing. Whereas my son still got that's the only part of it too, right? It's like you don't want to.
That's normal.
Yeah, like he's just such a sweet little kid, right? And he's got that mommy son shit. So it's like, but in a perfect world, that shit would have stopped 6 years ago.
6. Ooh, God.
Yeah, fuck all that. I hate it.
Vince,
I fucking hate it for multiple reasons.
What age would you say is you can't sleep in the bed with us? What age would you say that? And I know we don't have kids, but if you could put an age on it, what age would you say?
I say 3.
3.
You're muted, Vin. You're muted. Vin, you're muted.
I would probably be on Cliff's side on that. And like on the time limit, because in my opinion, and again, I've never been married, so you guys could definitely discount this, and I've never had children. I'm trying to keep this marriage together. So if me and the wife are not banging, that's a loss for all of us.
Right.
I'm trying to keep this together. So if we separate because we banging other people, or we stop so you in the way of this kid, I'm gonna have to talk to him on the side and be like, yo.
Right.
You're gonna be in the same position as me one day, man. You need to go. We're gonna get you a dog. We're gonna get you like a dog, like a passive. But again, I don't know any of these. I'm not Dr. Kevorkian. I'm not I'm not Mr. Spock. Dr. Spock. I'm not Dr. Oh no, actually, that's a sex doctor.
Okay.
But no, my parents tried to go in the route of independence. It's not like they threw me in a pool and said, like, go swim at like 2 or something like that. No, in moderation,
right.
Training wheels, bumpers on the bowling pins. But like Cliff said, at some point, you got to let the wings fly a little bit. You got to see how that kid, male or female, how they respond to real life, how they respond to something. I remember Chris Rock, and we're gonna get into Chris Rock in the cool down. I remember this thing also. He was like, you got to prepare for the real world. I like you. We're cool. We like you. We love you. We're on the fence about you, but the rest of the world don't give a fuck about you. And so you got to prepare for that, and you got to prepare them for those life situations.
I'm big on that. I'm a very big teaching my kids in that way. Unfortunately, my girl is very much a pushover parent, unfortunately. So it's a battle. And like, you know, when you're in a long relationship or have kids, you kind of like,
Yeah,
as you get
because
older, especially, you learn to like, you know, when to put your foot down, when to take a loss, when to be like, fuck it. And the foot's about to come down on that issue though, hard, real
sorry,
soon.
9-year-old, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah,
It's emotion.
you little
It's emotion.
motherfucker. I need them titties, man. You know what I mean?
Don't hog it all. Don't hog
Yeah.
all the mammary glands, bro. What's going on here, man?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Are we ready? Are we ready to move on?
yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, all
We got
right.
next.
Stacey Dash. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sesame Street is wildin'. Yo, take us away, TJ.
Listen, I know y'all been seeing this. If y'all haven't like heard about it, y'all seen some clips of some kind of Sesame Street doll walking down the parade and literally disregarding every black kid, almost every black kid that they seen. Sesame Street, what's going on? What's going on? Y'all wrong for this, man. And people want to know who is behind. Is it Rosalita is the name of this?
Rosita.
Rosita. They're
Rosita.
bilingual. Their first one. Now they have a few of them, but this is their first bilingual.
That's crazy. So Rosita is minority too, and you, oh my God, what's going on?
Right.
Well, some of them in the Spanish community do not consider themselves Rosita. So
Yeah,
what is
what's
that, like
going on?
is that Cantillon or like Latin America? We don't know.
So
Right.
yes, this is a Sesame Parade. I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but it's a Sesame Parade, and you can see.
Sesame Place, and I believe the
Pennsylvania.
one in PA. Yeah.
Mhm.
There we go. And as you can see in the video, acknowledge some
I like
kids,
that part too, to be honest.
right? Walk past the black kids. That's the first video that came out. Right, it's the first one that hit the market.
Yeah, that's the main one. That's like the main one that's been going viral.
And then after the statement that they came out with a statement saying that Rosita was ignoring someone asking them to pick up their child. So that's why you saw him go like, no. Right? Okay.
Right.
Good
Which makes sense. In the beginning, yeah, you could see that like she's pointing and waving over here.
And I've
PR,
worn
right?
those suits.
Good
I've
job.
worn those
Then-
suits before.
Good
They're
job,
hot.
lawyers. Good job, lawyers. Good job, PR. Y'all almost got out of that. Y'all almost got out.
Right.
Oh no, I'm not. Oh no, I'm with you. By the way, I'm just saying. For me, I've been in those suits. It's mad hot, and you definitely can't pick people up. But no, I definitely am with you on this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But the next day after the statement came out, more videos came out.
Okay.
Yeah, more videos to resurface. Like literally, you got videos from other
Wait a
angles of the
second.
same incident. You got videos from the same parade happening probably a month before. So as more videos came out with the same characters and other characters doing the same thing. So it was a big little outrage, huge
Should be.
uproar. You had celebrities talking about it. One that stood out was Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland came out. She said she would have shut the whole month parade down.
Good. We need
Yeah,
a soldier.
if it's
We need a
obvious and
survivor.
if it's obvious and evident, and which some of these clips for sure are. Some of them, you know, I think this one is a little more debatable only because, like, I don't know how much he's seen the little girl in this one because in those suits you can't really see below you a lot. So this one I'm not sure about, but there's other ones that it's pretty obvious they're
Blatant.
snubbing.
Blatant,
Yeah, it's pretty blatant.
I hate to pick on Mark Wahlberg, but actually I don't. When I found out that he had 2 civil injunctions on him, 2 separate occasions, and I read all about it too. Like I was like, yo, because I liked Mark Wahlberg for a long time. It's not that I like hate him now. It's just that I look at him a little differently now. And especially that he tried to cover it up. So for anybody that doesn't know,
when he beat the Asian to death back in the day,
yes, he beat these 2 Filipino guys up. I think they were Filipino, and called them racial slurs on top of that. Almost like killed one of them. Before that, when he was a child, he tried to beat up 2 black girls, did the same thing, just tried to and even said racial slurs back then. He got a mark on his record, permanent mark, when Marky Mark years later on the sly tried to remove it. And when they asked him, when they pressed him about it, he was like, well, I just felt like it was enough time. To who? To the victims? To the people you did that to? No, bro. No, you don't get to erase racism. So my joke for that is, what would they hire Mark Wahlberg? What is he in that? Is he in that Zoe thing?
Yeah,
and somebody would have called me. So I'm not gonna lie. When I used to do this is a long time ago. I used to work for a party company that made me dress like this. I used to be Elmo, Winnie the Pooh, Dora the Explorer. I did it all. And I'm not gonna lie. Mad people, when I was getting dressed, they saw what I looked like or whatever. And so some of them would hit on me. They would put numbers in my thing. They would grab like whatever area they thought was my penis or my ass. And
wait, without even seeing you?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Oh no, not without. They saw me in the beginning, so they were like,
"Oh, like what are these OG furries? Like what the hell's going on?"
I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of older women. It was a lot of, and so one time I was at a barbecue, and I had to come with my cousin because she was my manager at the time for the thing, and I was like, dude, I am getting molested like crazy out here. And she goes, yo, we making that money, man. You gotta put yourself out there, but you gotta take one for the team.
Yeah.
Like,
Put on a cup. Put on
so
a
my
cup.
point is, if they would have caught me on camera, I would have been the racist. Because I was going like this, like I was doing the Heisman.
Yeah.
I was like Jim Brown over here, OJ, like, yo, arms length, arms length, eyes here, eyes on the beady eyes of Elmo. Oh, here.
Yeah,
I feel you on that for sure, and I'm definitely with you on that. And in college, I was our college mascot. When I wasn't playing football, I was the mascot, so I know exactly, what you're talking about. How little kids, they're violent, but they don't know they're violent. They little kids, so I get that. What's funny was when I was mascot, I did ignore some kids. I ignored them badass kids who used to throw haymakers at my kneecap.
Baby kids.
But yeah, I kind of felt it a little bit, but I wasn't blatantly annoying, kids because of their race. So that's really crazy. I got a question for you and Cliff. Like, if you the head of HR, you on the board of Sesame Street, of this whole thing, how y'all fixing this issue at this point? Cause now you deep in, now you gotta call the big boys out to help you fix this huge issue you got. How y'all fixing this? If y'all was
Go ahead, Cliff, you go first.
on that board, or if you was head of HR and you have to fix this problem, how you doing it?
I mean, the first thing I'm doing is I'm gonna bring everybody in those, suits in for a meeting, pick their brains, try to find out whether or not, it's a legitimate, purposeful bias. Is it a by mistake bias? Was it, more innocent than than appears? Which there's enough of it where it seems like there could be literal racism going on, or at least unconscious bias at the very least, and I'll probably putting out a bullshit statement like they did here, and and honestly, you're gonna have to vet them more, right, before you put people. You got to understand too. This Sesame Place is like not too far from Philly, so you're gonna have a lot of minority kids, and you have to make sure that you're not hiring people that have any of those inclinations, whether conscious or subconscious.
Tough. That's tough.
Right.
You got a lot of work to do, Cliff. A lot of work.
Right. A lot.
A lot of paperwork. That is great. I feel like you were HR. I'm like, I gotta watch what I say now. Like Cliff's gonna bring me HR.
What do you think, Ben?
But I do agree with Cliff. I don't like lean into we gotta hear both sides all the time. But in a professional setting, for sure. Like that's like number one. That definitely has to be at least the first spot you do that. So there has to be investigation. And to be honest, if it's on the Keep Up program, now that we're in kangaroo court, TJ did that research for us. So yeah, it seems like there's a body of evidence, and unfortunately for this person, they are at the bottom of the food chain. So it's very easy to get rid of someone like that. It gets a little harder the higher they move up. It gets a little trickier. But this, and I don't have an official stat on me right now, but there's been many studies, you can look up so many, and they indicate even Black people themselves tend to either like more white audiences, or they have biases. There's been Black people that own stores, minority, even Chinese, like all. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the Black person, and I hate to bring it back to Trayvon Martin, we're just automatically, with the day that we're born, and I'm only half Black, just a threat or a nuisance. So there's a part in this article, I have a quote, I just like bumped into it, and this is my point. And to be honest, the quote encapsulated is better than what I'm saying. A lot of African Americans tend to become very passive because we unfortunately are accustomed to dealing with this type of racism in various places. So I'm like on the other side. Like Cliff knows this, and a lot, even my neighbors. I live in an Afro-Caribbean neighborhood, and sometimes even my neighbors are like, not everything's racist, Vince. But I live in the most racist country in the world. So like, to be honest, I'm like, it kind of is. It kind of is. So
the most culturally diverse will always be the most racist, though, unfortunately, as well.
Well, I think the place that benefited from the Middle Passage the most is the one that like is going to be the most racist. So the place that actually had to buy Louisiana, that couldn't become a superpower without cotton. the place that had the White House built twice by black people for free, and then you couldn't get a person that represented that until the 44th president. So that doesn't really happen in any other countries, and we still consider ourselves like first world.
Yeah.
You have a country that it has mostly females, and yet only 33% of them represent Congress and Senate. That's why, like those Roe versus Wade, that's why I was able to get toppled, because there wasn't equal representation, which the forefathers, even like Adams, don't forget about the women. So my point is that, yeah, no, we are deeply rooted in sexism and racism. So when this type of stuff happens, there's a lot of mixed reactions. There's some people who are like, I can't believe this. We're not in a post-racist society. No, never were. Not going to be. Probably never in your lifetime, to be honest. And then there's some people who are like, it's par for the course. And then there's some people that are like, which some people like view me as like extreme, like everything is racist. And that's how
you are who you are, bro. This is the only thing I ask. I ask this of all my my minority friends that I've always been on the front line of these
minority?
issues. You know what I mean? And I hate that word, by the way, but it's like conspiracy. Like I hate both of those words, but they're the only words to explain, something easily. I really hate the word minority, to be honest with you. It's a gross term in my opinion, but it's reality, but it's a gross term. But this is what I ask. I ask that make sure, teach your kids, right? In 20, 30, 40, 50 years, when there's less whites, to not treat whites how I told the whites not to treat blacks and browns, all right, motherfuckers? Because when the table turns in another 70, 100 years and whites are the minority, I don't want to see I don't want to see you motherfuckers co-signing the other shit. You know what I mean?
So I can't agree to that, Cliff. I'm not gonna lie, man. And I hate to mention it. I think obviously it's bad timing to say Planet of the Apes, but I'm gonna go full on that. Like I'm gonna be like, get off me, you dirty ape. Like if a white person comes up to me, I'm gonna be like this. Get back to your cage, slave. Like some orange monkey coming out of nowhere, like, no, payback. And I think that's a big reason why like civil rights was such a big deal here, because white people were really afraid that we weren't going to freaking retaliate. And it was a real thing. I'm a nerd. Like I listen to history books on podcasts, and I have this one by Howard Zinn, and it's from the loser side, basically. It's history, but from the people like indigenous, women, minorities, like you said, and it's from their vantage point. And they definitely call it the way to see it. And we don't have to see it on that. I get it, but I don't think we live in a post-racist society. I think we're too deeply rooted in the 70s. That's where most of these like Confederate statues were built. And so again, like there's so many mechanisms to just keep black people at bay. And so again, we have come so conditioned that like some of this is just regular. Some people are just like, whatever. I wake up every day and I live in a racist world. What am I going to do? And that's sad. That's sad.
It is. And unfortunately, Sesame Street had to be right in the middle of all this. That's crazy. But real quick, something I would do, Sesame Street, you gotta shut the whole thing down. Shut the whole operation down, clean house, get everybody out of there. And now you got to get a lot of black people in behind these masks. Now you have to cater, hate to say it, white people hate to say it. Now Sesame Street has to cater to black people. They do. Look what they did. They damaged people. You're gonna lose a huge audience if you don't shut down, clean house, and start all back over. The what they call it, the sensitivity training ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. You gotta get new bodies in there. You can't get new minds in there. You gotta get actually a whole new body behind these suits.
Well, yeah, especially when the area has a large percentage of black and brown kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like this shit's in fucking North Dakota. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Shit's outside of Philly.
For real. And low key, Sesame Street, you gotta do your homework a little bit. Go on their social media. Go see what they be talking about. You'll get some hints of what kind of person they are a little bit. Social media.
Oh, Mina, that is a very general and blanketed statement. Like, not every black person believes they're a victim. Matter of fact, I was at the Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Kevin Hart, and all three of them said they weren't victims. So that can't.
Yeah, but there are it's undeniable that there's a certain percentage of black people that do live in that way. There's no doubt about it.
It's hard. to tell someone that they shouldn't when like 400 years of,
It doesn't matter.
sexual-
You can recognize the past, work to change the present, and
Well, I'm
still
saying
not
it's
live in
impossible.
and still not live in victimhood. So, and there
hear
are people
you.
who
No,
do.
I hear
There
you.
are
I
people
hear
who
you.
do.
But to pretend that
Unfortunately.
like there is no victims, just to like
No, I don't think
that would
she's
be
saying
like the
that.
same. In my opinion, that's the same thing when like how could everybody be a boss? Who's everybody working for? The same thing with that. Like there has to
Yeah.
be someone that was on the other side of the shit, and it just so. And most of the time, it's been blacks. We've talked about immigration. How is Africa the largest continent with one of the largest freaking populations, and yet America has mostly Europeans when it has the least? You just said there's mostly brown people around the world, but for some reason, Europeans infiltrated. Not for some reason, we know the reasons.
They took it by the neck. Those cocksuckers took world domination and they did it serious. It could have been anybody, but those are the motherfuckers that did it,
It could have.
unfortunately.
It just so happened to be Britain every time.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be Spain and
Right.
Portugal every time.
Right.
All good. Yeah, but I agree with both of you. Like it sucks. I hate living in that. I don't enjoy it, by the way. I don't enjoy being that skeptical. I don't enjoy being that jaded. I really do wish I lived in a post-racial society. I really wish I could wake up and never talk about it, never think about it. It's just really naive to do that. And I think we miss a lot of beautiful. And also, one more thing for me, and you guys could cap it if you want. I'm done after this. Again, I don't mind trauma. I ingest it. We've talked about this off the show before. Again, back to the Buddhism. And people have said that to me too. I like to ingest good things, blah, blah, blah. No, because that to me, not to you guys, but to me, that's a little sad because now this person that had like either a sad story, especially slavery and civil rights, now they don't have a story because like you need positive images all the time. Now they get silenced. So again, I don't mean to be morbid. I'm not saying like keep these memories alive more than like the positive stories, but no, this is a huge history.
No, it's important to talk about. It's important to acknowledge for sure.
And
you should talk
about
it.
Put it under the rug. That's not a shared history anymore. It just means that you went through it. And
no,
like,
I agree.
And it's hands off. And it's hands off for a lot of white people. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to think about that again. You never, well, sorry. Like, especially when like they give crime statistics, like with Chicago and Baltimore and something like, well, you locked up our fathers for like 50 straight years. Like, what'd you think was going to happen? And like, oh, the nuclear home. Oh, how convenient. The 80s, you broke us down with the crack era. And now everybody has to have a picket fence and a dog and a family and a mom. I'm like, how convenient. I live in a neighborhood.
And I think those are the things that should be talked about more, right? I think you should acknowledge
my cousin.
the disgusting atrocities. I think you should acknowledge the disgusting atrocities of the hundreds of years ago thing. But the things that should be talked about more are the things that happened in the last century. You know, the redlining, the wars on drugs. Like those are the actual recent racist history that have helped to
you leave out the part that led up to it. You leave out the part.
No, but you don't focus on that part because people can't take you as serious. Then, if you want change,
July 4th. That was
if
like
you want change, if you want change, you have to focus on the tangible things that people can relate to more than the things from 400 or 500 years ago. That's
what I'm saying. So because white people haven't been enslaved in this country, we have to hold back and be like, well, you know, again,
it's not about holding back. It's not about holding back. What happened in the last 100 years had a larger effect on destabilizing those neighborhoods. That's what had the major effect on destabilizing. I can't argue that,
actually.
You know, the taking the fathers out of the homes, the redlining, the 2 wars on drugs, not 1, 2. There was the Nixon war on drugs and there was the Reagan war on drugs.
Yes.
You know, and I think if there's more folk, because a lot of people don't even know about a lot of those histories. And I think if you teach more white people that recent history more, right, I think then they would understand more white people still have the right to say, oh, look at our neighborhoods and why they would destabilize, rather than, you know, you definitely want to focus on the slavery stuff and all that too, because, you know, it's you know, it's heartbreaking when you watch the history of that stuff.
Mina, real quick, my mother lived in this neighborhood with me for a long time, ever since I was 6 years old, and she is selling. Yeah, believe it or not, your president Reagan got caught twice in Nicaragua and in Afghanistan.
Of course,
selling arms back to his own country for coke.
And then you know what he said when he was questioned? I don't recall.
Yeah, all of his chief said. Nino, that's why New Jack City. It's based on a real story. Snowfall, Rick Ross. All these people are named after Ricky Ross. They made that choice to participate with the government funneling drugs into LA and inner cities. So it's our fault that the president was selling drugs to us. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that's why.
Different
Yes,
podcast.
TJ.
Now, obviously, that's different podcast, but that's facts. That's all facts.
Right.
That's
And
different.
that's why I think the
most
conversation.
Black communities. Who's leading these communities? Like,
Yeah.
who's leading these communities? They're
But
giving us
that's why-
crumbs. They're
that's
giving us
why the
crumbs, and you're
conversations
asking
are
us to
important.
make gold out of crumbs.
And that's why the conversations are important, right? Because there's people, Nay, Black, Mina, Black, right? You, biracial, TJ, biracial,
Yellow.
me, white. And there's all different varies of opinions, right? It's not everyone agrees with,
Thank you, Mina, by the way. All good. You're very
the
brave.
far
with
left
this
or
opinion,
the
by
far
way,
right.
with this lopsided Oreo going on.
Nah, yeah. I'm like Vin could be me and TJ's son. You know what I mean?
I could.
Okay.
Kiki.
But I think it's important, man. I think it's important to have the conversations, and honesty is important, and also focus on progress is important as well. Let's focus on what we could do as well. There should be as much focus on what we can do to make things better. There should be more focus on that than what happened, even though what happened is very
I'm not saying this is relevant to you, but most of the people that say that to me, I feel like that's a guilt thing. I feel like I need to pass off this guilt. No,
it's just a reality thing in life, in anything. Focusing on solutions is more productive than focusing on problems.
But again, what if your whole family history is like, my grandfather was picking cotton. And so like, should he just be like, well, let me go focus on like, I'm gonna like zone that out, which is bad too, by the way. That's how a lot of us.
No. Not zone out. Not zone out. Not zone out, Vin. Not zone out. Just put more focus on the grandson, because we need to think about today. We got to make tomorrow better.
Listen, I gotta kind of agree with you on that, because in the school system, when it's time to talk about that stuff, slavery, civil rights, that whole movement, Black History Month, I'm gonna be honest, the kids, they're not interested. To them, that's trauma. They don't want to fucking hear about it. They tired of hearing about it. You telling me, okay, every year, once a month, I gotta hear about all this depressing shit again. They over it. You put on the Martin Luther King speech, they go to sleep. They tired of hearing that speech. You put on Malcolm X, oh my God, again. You talk about all the stuff that happened, they over it. So when I be trying to do it, I be trying to implement like, damn, how can I remind them of that? But still keep it modern, keep it relevant. But don't forget about this kind of happened back in the day, y'all. But let's talk about moving forward. Let's talk about what Cliff was talking about, progression. Let's talk about solutions, because they don't like talking about.
Where's the stat on that, Mina? What is this? The people you ran by? Like, how do you?
She's saying.
Mina in her bag. She's in her bag right now. She just
really is, but it's all good. I like it.
And with how strong your opinions are, you cannot argue.
Oh, it's okay. No,
I'm
welcome it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, welcome it. I'm not trying to, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get disrespectful. I'm sorry to hear about it. How convenient. Try being Black.
Yeah. She is Black.
If you're tired of it, Mina's Black.
Mina's Black, bro. Mina's Black as fuck.
So
you know what I
mean? That goes, okay, great point. And I agree with you, PJ. I agree with you, and all of you, to be honest. Again, I don't want to talk about this forever. I just think it's like irresponsible to just try to sweep it under the rug. I think it rears its ugly head when you do that. I think it rears its ugly head when you do that. And
right.
Again, I don't want to be a victim. I agree with you. I saw that interview with Kanye West on with Noriega. Great show. What is it called? I forgot. Drink Champs.
Drink Champs. Yeah.
Amazing show. Great. It's gotten a little lame recently because he's like too much. But that interview was amazing, and he made all your points. He was like, "Yo, there's so much more to being Black. There's so much success stories, but at the same token, there's mad people who don't know about Tulsa riots. There's mad, like we just found about, not we, my dad has been Black all his life, and he only found out about Juneteenth like 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I know there is nothing not biracial about me. Mina. You are
Trump card.
Even my Spotify playlist, people listen to it, they're like, wow, you are biracial.
She threw the black card on the table.
Hit it right on the head, Mina.
Vince, you pissed her off with that. She not Black. You pissed her off with that one.
My bad, Mina. I know. I get that. I was in an interview with BET, and she was the same mix as me, and she was like, and we were in the fourth round, and she goes, "Are you sure you know about Black content?" I'm like, "Yo, I used to whack it off the uncut every night. Yes, I know about Black content. What the hell is wrong with you?"
Well, and like I said, that's why I think it's so important, right? Because like people think, I think sometimes, like, no matter what their thought process is, they automatically assume that people who look like them or are similar to them have the same thought process, which is not most of these conversations I have with my black friends, and I have a lot of minority friends, always have.
Couldn't tell.
Like, it's like split. You know what I mean? It's like I got like 33% of my black friends are fucking militant as fuck. 33% are woke, which is totally different than militant, and 33% are very, even more even keeled and like kind of.
And I love that because black people are not a monolith. We're not a hive mentality. We're not supposed to all. And
no one should be.
I'm glad.
That's dangerous.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I watched that that documentary Uncle Tom about modern black conservatives. And it didn't change my opinion, but I did feel a little bit more sorry for them. I was like, no, you guys are still nerds. No, but that doesn't mean like you shouldn't be black and conservative. No, Larry Elder. They talked about all these people, these legendary black conservatives and stuff. And I don't have a problem. Again, you should vote for whoever you want. You should be your person. Like, again, you shouldn't just vote with the whole voting block. I don't agree with that at all.
And that's the point of this show, right? Overall, is to like sit here and have diverse opinions and have some fun and parse it out a little bit. You know what I mean?
So again, I agree. I love it. And same thing with music. I love it when people go against the grain. I love it when you totally disagree with me. I go, wow, I'm so happy you exist, because I don't want everybody thinking that I'm speaking for any community, because I'm not.
Right. All right, so let's move on to something a little sillier.
Great job, Mina. Thank you. You kept that going. That was really good.
Mina's the shit. I love it.
Take it away again. Take it away again. TJ, you talked about this on your show.
Oh man, we have to talk about Chris Brown charging $1,000 VIP meet and greet. Like,
take my money, Chris. Take my money.
This mostly like a lot of artists, a lot of celebrities do this. Like, this is not just Chris Brown doing this, but it only kind of stood out and caught traction because it's the way he's doing it. Like when you get that personal meet and greet with Chris Brown, like, not only you gonna meet him, but he gonna take some pictures with you, but he gonna take some nice, close personal pictures with you, as you see right here. Like, he gonna get in deep. The comments was nuts. I'm gonna say the comments were 50-50. People were for this, and people was also confused that why is he charging $1,000 for a Chris Brown meet and greet? And look what you get though. Look what you get. You get
some dick.
You get a prime time Instagram photo. That's at least $2,000.
I'm looking at her sneakers, guys. I'm looking at her sneakers. She got great Yeezys. Great Yeezys.
Like, and also, this kind
great
of
jeans too. Great jeans.
It tells you about his personality a little bit. Like, if you didn't know Chris Brown, you wanted to get to know him, you kind of felt his personality, in his meet and greet. I felt like I thought this is something I would do if I was a celebrity, doing meet and greet. I thought it's like, is this? Yes.
You're a little thotty, TJ. You're a little thotty. You definitely would.
Low key. But the fact he was charging $1,000 really kind of stood out to some people. I mean, listen, $1,000, he do 20 people. He do 50 people. He do 80 people. I mean, you gotta do the math on those numbers. Chris Brown, you own a song, Chris Brown. I like what you're doing, and I'm pretty sure it's finna go up now. People seeing these photos going viral, and that money really finna go up. Big baby shower pics, but side. That's exactly.
So yesterday's price. It's today's price.
That's fact. That's exactly. Hey, Vince, that's exactly what he doing. He know it. So shout out to y'all, man. And I was thinking too, like, what celebrity, female, of course, would I pay $1,000 for a meet and greet?
Oh man,
to me to get some baby shower pics with my female celebrity.
It gotta be someone who can hold me too. It can't be like some dick. Because I was thinking Scarlett Johansson, but like, I don't know. I know she's a Black Widow, but I don't think she can hold me up. I need like Beyonce strength.
Is she gonna let me hold her? Is she gonna let me grab?
Yeah, I think J-Lo can hold me too.
For a stack, I gotta grab the cakes.
You know what I mean? Thank you, Cliff. I'm talking about.
For a stack, I need cakes.
I gotta grab something for the stack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta give me.
You gotta grab me too. She gotta grab me too. That's what I'm trying to say. I need someone to be able to take those. I'm thinking about the whole photo op. I'm not just thinking about like me, because I hold people up all the time. I'm 6'3". I'm always like lifting. When I go to concerts, it's the worst. And I still love going to concerts. I still love going to festivals, but people automatically look at me and they go like this. Oh, I can climb you.
Yeah.
No permission. Some people try to get on my neck. Girls will be like this and like try to literally put their kneecap. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, chill out. Me too, bitch. Me too.
I take
Me three. Me three. What
ladies, give me that leg. Give me that
I'm
leg.
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this Chris Brown story one more time. I'm retiring the story. I'm retiring the story. I think I might have said the clip. When I worked in news, we got into this whole thing, and it was very unprofessional. I apologize to anybody involved. Even though whatever. So I was at a very young spot, and they were very judgmental to the whole Chris Brown situation. Rightfully so. I get it. They caught the tail end of it. They didn't see the beginning of the Rihanna, Chris Brown. They didn't see the Oprah episode, probably. I did ask that, too. Feel bad for the dark-skinned black woman that paid for this. Chris Brown openly burns her phone up. That was good, Mina. That was good. I like that. That was good. So anyway, Chris Brown, not my bad. So unfortunately, at work, over here, it would have made sense. But at work, I took his side. I was like, guys, this is almost 20 years ago. When does homeboy get to live? You know what I'm saying? Rihanna is almost a billionaire, and she wasn't a billionaire yet. I'm like, she's almost a billionaire. So to me, she already won. Like she won like 20 years ago. He is worth I think he's only worth like $40 million. That's crazy because this guy was supposed to be the next MJ. He was supposed to be up there with Justin Timberlake. He was supposed to be up there with all the big money makers. Usher, that's crazy that he showed up in the feed before. That's crazy, like algorithm things, and people place that for marketing. It definitely makes sense. So anyway, I went on the hill, and I was like, and I had facts. I was like, they showed me a police report. I was like, well, where's his? And I found his. I was like, where's his depiction? Why is her account only the one that we go by? And I'm not gonna lie, I fell into a trope. I was like, well, why did she go back to him? That was stupid because most victims go back, male or female. They go back to that. That was dumb on my part. You guys got that one. But I was so frustrated. So my HR hit me up, and she was my friend too. And she was like, Vince, I agree with you, but like, you can't talk about this at work. I was like, oh, you're right. It was on Slack. I was like, what an idiot. And so my big boss, wrote an email to the company, and she was like, guys, I know that we love to have fun on Slack, but you guys gotta keep it more professional on there, blah, blah, blah. So I emailed her, and I was like, yo, I'm so sorry. That was so unprofessional of me, blah, blah, blah. She lied and said, oh, no, it wasn't because of you. It wasn't because of you. And so then I told her my friend, and she goes, oh, yeah, it was. She goes, it was. It was. And so when I finally got home, I was talking to my parents, and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, I don't even like Chris Brown like that. I was like, I got in trouble at work for Chris Brown. I don't even roll with him like that. Musically, yeah. But like as a person, I'm like, I can live without him. He's all right. Like there's some points, like his daughter. But this one I agree with. If I'm gonna pay $1,000, I'm getting my money's worth. So you're gonna make me feel like the only person in the world. And I appreciate this for Chris Brown. You get a kudos, you get a hand clap for this, in my opinion.
I'm not mad at it.
I agree. It's cheesy. And I agree with the pre-show with TJ said. Yes, he is strapped for cash because, yes, he had a bad album release. He had a bad album rollout. And he doesn't have, like, Rihanna's money. He doesn't have Rock Nation. He doesn't have Jay-Z behind him. He doesn't have all the big players anymore. And he still does his thing. He still makes his money. He still goes on tour. He still kills it. And again, I like Rihanna more. Don't get me wrong. And as a person, I do believe she was more the victim. I do believe they were toxic. And that's what Oprah said. That's what
Not more the victim. Like no matter what, she was the total victim. She got the shit kicked out of her. But everyone deserves a path to redemption, right? Unless you hurt a kid or rape a woman, I think everything else.
There's been interviews with Rihanna. That's why this was dangerous. There's been interviews with Rihanna where she said she was an equal partner in that toxic relationship, that she used to beat the crap out of him randomly. She said it to Oprah, and Oprah don't talk to her anymore, which I think is wrong because she did that. She went on her program and was like, and again, I'm not trying to be insensitive to her, but she was like giving this whole story, and then she went back to him like a year later. And again, that's not indicative. That's not victims. They act a particular way. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a social worker. None of those things. But yeah, I just think they're so dynamic. And again, my point at work was actually to you guys, it's actually on your point. When does she stop becoming a victim? When does that happen? Like you said, the path to redemption. When does that open up? When does he stop being canceled, or is he just canceled forever?
Yeah. What do you think, TJ?
He shouldn't be. I hate that every time Chris Brown name get brought up, people gotta bring up the Rihanna situation. They let it go. I think we should let it go.
Right.
So I don't like that for him. Is that still messing with him to this day? I don't know.
I don't think so.
A lot of them didn't do so well, but not because of Rihanna. Like I
Right.
won't say that.
Right.
But real quick though,
He'll never get some fans back. He'll never.
Is he on to something with this, or do we need to cut it out doing this?
Fuck it. If people are stupid enough to pay $1,000 to take a picture with him, get your money.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
My only advice is, please, Chris, hope you got a live camera rolling as you're doing this. That's my only fear. Just have a live camera doing this because you get a little close.
I agree, Keith.
Getting a little close, but only thing so we take one girl to say, "Oh, he touched me like this." You took pictures with the other girls. They gonna like, "Oh, it's some money." Like, so just have a camera roll and just keep yourself safe. Make sure you get the bag properly. So, yeah. Keep doing that. I like this. I like it.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
And
just a reminder, real quick. All the links for Crazy But True. I got TJ's link, the YouTube link, and the Instagram link in the description of the video, so everyone could go follow them. Mondays at what time is your show?
Listen, every Monday we got an episode dropping at noon. Make sure you check that out. Shout out to the gang too, man. I am a quarter. I'm a quarter of the group. It's 4 of us. Westside, TBE, Key. Shout out to all the Crazy But True. Show the Crazy But Truest. Keep checking in. Make sure y'all keeping up with us too. See what I did there?
Yeah. I like that. I like the little plug without the plug. I like that.
Make sure y'all tapping in. Make sure you also tap in the Crazy But True the podcast as well. New episode dropping tomorrow.
Fair point, Mina. Fair.
That out.
Yeah.
No, you got to live with your consequences. So I'm not like trying to mind, and I'm not trying to, like I said, the white guilt and stuff like that. Like, no, some things are stained. Even Mark Wahlberg. So I got to keep the same energy for Chris Brown. I don't think like he should be totally rid of it. It should be like an ACD. It should be sealed. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if something happens again, we go back to it and we go, he's a repeat offender.
Right. If Mark Wahlberg goes to fucking Vietnam and starts clotheslining Vietnamese people, you know what I mean? That shit ain't right.
I'm not waiting for his third strike, but I won't stop watching Boogie Nights. It's still one of my favorite movies. And I love that movie. That's a great movie.
I'm gonna go to China and just like looks for 2 rickshaws and just does them both at the same time. Like then you know,
in the kickboxing movie. Oh my God. But my last point, and I have to make this disclaimer. Domestic violence was created for men. That was created so that like it could be muddied. But in that same token, now that we still have it, that's why it's so complicated. Because domestic violence, it's not just female, male. It could be a gay couple. It could be you hit your grandmother. It could be you hit your son. What's his name? Tommy Lee went through a whole, I think he's still going through it with his teenage son. He's still going through a domestic dispute. Richard Sherman, he came after he's the football player from the Seattle Seahawks, not anymore. He was on the 49ers last. But he had a domestic dispute with his father, and they called the cops. The whole in-laws called the cops and stuff. So domestic violence is tricky. It's tricky. Yes.
But the worst form of it is man to woman.
Absolutely. And I said infanticide. I said women are being killed by men at an alarming rate, at a huge rate, this country in general.
But what did they do? No,
that's what I want to say. That nobody deserves. I don't think nobody deserves to get hit. I'm with Whoopi Goldberg. I'm a Whoopi Goldberg. I think when you're back to the parent, who knows if I'll have ever kids, but I'm gonna try to keep the same. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna be like, just don't hit nobody. Like, don't just not hit a female. Don't hit nobody, and don't just like don't think because people like think that they shouldn't hit you that you should go hit them too. So that's what I'm saying. Keep that same energy. Don't hit anybody. Don't be violent, and nobody will have to be violent towards you.
Yeah, try to avoid it. Try to avoid it if possible, for sure. It should be the last option. It's not an option. No, when it comes to women, it should not be an option, right? Unless they're attacking you. But when it comes to man, it's an option, but it should be the last option. You know what I mean?
Hey, don't get it twisted too. There's some ladies out here beating their man's ass.
Yeah.
Too.
Right.
I have a relative in my family got away with it. And I'm not gonna blow up her spot, but she did. My one of my other relatives has connections with a cop and got her off, blah, blah, blah. And they all believed the story, by the way. They all were like, is that what happened? Is that what happened? And I'm not going to get into it because it's too Yeah, I don't want anybody to dig into it. But then I asked her personally, and I was like, "Did you beat the crap out of that dude?" Yes, I did. I was like, so she used that huge misogynistic law to her advantage. It happens. It happens. Some things
It
slip through
does,
the
yeah.
cracks.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like
My
Rihanna
boy,
and like so many other people, they're on the other side, and it sucks. And again, I do believe they were equal in that part. But yes, Chris Brown is stronger, and and there are women that are stronger too. But he was a stronger person.
Yeah, but they ain't no pictures of Chris Brown looking like Mickey
You're right.
Ward.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm agreeing with. I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
Yes. He was he OD'd. He OD'd. Yes. She probably did wild out on him. There's reports that there was an STD involved, all types of crap.
Right.
But I agree. Nobody should be hitting nobody. Nobody should be hitting you in a window. You should, and if you love someone, your partner, why would you want them to look like that? I remember one of my other relatives, they got into a fight, and she took her sister's glasses and snapped them before they fought. And we were in Florida, by the way. We were in Orlando. And I was like, and she talked to me later. I was like, yo, I need some time. I was like, because me and my sister, my siblings, we've got into it. But you literally did not want her to see. You literally had to blind your own sister. And that's a whole nother level for me. That's what I'm saying. Domestic violence is tricky because when emotions are involved, especially people that you love in your inner circle, again, it's a terrible law the way that it was formulated. Again, it was to protect male cops. Oh, domestic violence. Oh, no, domestic violence. So you can't really go in the home, blah, blah, blah. But now, not only are men still using it, but there's some women that have used it to their advantage. And it's just a really messy.
Bro, my friend got into a fight with his sister. And
I agree, Mina. Emotional intelligence is important. Sorry, go ahead.
My friend got into a fight with his sister, and he has two prosthetic legs, and she took the legs and threw them over the ferry. And then he was just hopping. He's like, bitch. No, I'm fucking around, but it sounded good. I like
Yo, Gullible Vince was all about it. I was like, for real? I was yo, go get that. We were about to go in the Hudson and be like, legs, man. You are messed up, homegirl.
Yeah. Get the divers.
Right. Hold on.
Tap in, Keith. All right. Unless you guys have anything else, let's get down to Amazon.
All
right. Take it away, Cliff.
Oh, let's see if I can read it from far away.
My bad. You wanted me to read something. Gotcha.
Yeah, give me because it's harder for me to read when I'm like doing all this dumb shit.
You did say that, and I will deliver. Okay, ABC News. We got an article. Federal prosecutors in New York and the Department of Labor are expecting an old employer on this show. Amazon warehouses. They were huge during COVID, and they still are around the country as part of civil investigation into unsafe and unseemly workplace conditions. Tell us what those conditions are, Cliff.
I could definitely attest to this. I worked at Amazon for 3 years, and the problem with Amazon is they put productivity over safety consistently. A lot of the positions at Amazon are based upon rate or percentage, and sometimes the goals are not realistic, and you will get fired if you get a certain amount of points or you don't make percentage a certain amount of time. So you got people running around like chickens with their heads cut off, just trying to meet, these percentages. I worked there when it started getting a little better, right? But it was still pretty bad. And then the people that were like the generation of people who worked there before me, like that pissing in water bottles and all that stuff, that shit is real. Like, I remember even when I was working there, the percentages were so crazy sometimes, and the times that they wanted you to meet, like I had to like literally work through breaks sometimes, so I had that 15 minutes. Or if I had to take a shit, I would bring like the barcode of a bunch of products into the bathroom with me and have my scanner. And like every couple minutes during my shit, I would like scan an item. So like,
because episode.
yeah. Because if you didn't scan an item for a certain amount of time, that could affect your rate in a major way, and then on the dock, it's the same thing. It's all like, let's go. So you got people running around with pallet jacks. You got people on forklifts. Everybody's rushing everything. So this should have happened a long time ago.
Is everybody a citizen of Putin, or everybody's rushing to do their job?
Probably both. Putin probably owns Amazon on the low. You know what I mean?
No, a lot of businesses went down, especially during. And Mina, I know that you're giving a backhanded statement. I love capitalism. I know a lot of people think I don't, and I am pro-union also. But
I don't know if she's giving backhanded. She might be on par with us on this one.
But I do. But like I
Yeah.
said, I've always agreed that this is a mixed economy. People that don't think that socialism runs this country are really naive. Like there's so many. Like they both need each other. Not communism and not vulture capitalism, but like real capitalism, like from where we all started zero and we're all able to get to where we are with exponential growth. And like I said, socialism, you got to mix them together. Otherwise, this country would not be what it is. And damn, that sucks, Cliff, that you went through that. I hate.
Yeah, and that's
You're going through a whole Teddy Roosevelt thing going on over there, man.
for real. And people don't know that from the outside looking in if they don't know anyone who's been in or heard a story like Cliff. That's crazy because you would think Amazon is some fine oiled machine for what they do and for their employees. But it's kind of not surprising as well because you've been hearing stories coming out of Amazon about how they treat workers like shit. And it's really crazy, but it's true. Another thing is Amazon is a huge machine.
Ding, 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 ding.
So when you were saying that, Cliff, I wasn't surprised. When you talking about, you know, everything is number, productivity, ratings. I'm not surprised. That's the biggest machine known to man right now. It's Amazon. You would think Bob's been that big machine. You got to reach certain numbers every time you clock in. This got to be it. So you can tell people not even running Amazon. It's all automated. It sounds like.
Yeah, bro.
Just robots.
They literally, right? Like, all right, you'll be working, and let's say you get a not on lunch because you're walking and you clock out, but breaks, 15-minute breaks, right? You could be on the other side of the warehouse, and they used to try to tell you that your time walking to the lunchroom or the locker area was counted towards you. I used to tell them eat it, me. I told them eat all the dicks. Like I didn't give a fuck.
Crazy.
I'm like, I'm working. I'm doing what I got to do. You guys can I'm not that type of dude. Like you can fire me. I don't give a shit.
Not a little bit of the dicks, all the dicks.
All the dicks, every dick, rainbow of dicks. You know what I mean?
Amazon, you gotta do better.
Yeah.
Do better, Bezos. Do better. Well, he's not even at the helm anymore. He's up in space now. But
I mean,
Blue Origin, whatever.
But Cliff, on the flip side, Amazon is giving us a good product.
Right.
It has given us a top tier product for years in and years out, despite, they treat their employees like shit. And you can tell they also do that because they're getting robots in all their stores. They don't even care about people.
At this
Don't
point,
worry, Mina. We hate Amazon too, but we love 2-day shipping. And I love their shows too, man. I love
robotic.
Whole Foods. I love all that. And they just got Grubhub too. They got
Grubhub. It's undefeated. You can't.
It is. I know.
Oh, you can't fuck with Amazon.
They're like most American companies, too big to fail.
But here's the thing, Mina, though. Your husband works from the position where he's not doing all of that. He gets to tell all the worker bees in the ant farm what to do because that's salary. Anybody not on salary at Amazon is overworked to like a major.
I got
degree.
one last. Well, for me, I got one last. I'm not capping you guys. And then I got the stand-up thing last night. But that goes to my point with AOC. AOC was against having the warehouse and I agree with her on a lot of things, but that's like one of the biggest things I disagree with her on. I was pissed. I voted for her twice, and that was totally against my interest.
Right.
So if nobody knows, or if anybody forgot, New York was supposed to have the second headquarters of Amazon. Obviously, on the West Coast they have theirs. They did a reverse, and they did in Virginia, which doesn't make sense because now there's mad like warehouses outside. It's not an HQ, but like they were like, well, we're gonna get there. Yeah, so it's not like I'm saying too big to fail. Well, you didn't make us get our headquarters there, but we're gonna put mad warehouses outside, like right there. So take that. But anyway, I disagreed so much with AOC. So back to your point where you were saying the Amazon, they were like, it's gonna deplete the area, this and that. And they were talking about jobs, and they were like, it's not gonna be jobs for me though. It's not gonna be entry. They were jobs for me. Like I was looking, I was even looking at the job thing. They were already previewing on LinkedIn and stuff, and they were like,
they're ready. They were
6-figure jobs. And you're right, they were mid-management, they were management, executive.
Right.
So it wasn't gonna, you're right. It wasn't gonna, they were right. It wasn't gonna bring sorry to say, lack of a better word, the worker bees or the entry-level people, but it was going to attract people like me. It was going to keep people like me from going to Seattle, from going to Silicon Valley, to going to Austin for tech and all that. They're trying to keep New Yorkers here. And you can't just keep all the blue-collar people. You need a mix. And so that's where I felt AOC. I was like, dude, rich people live here too. and not just rich people, middle class people live here too. So we're not allowed to have a good job. We're not allowed to have Amazon. We're a metropolis. We're competing with Tokyo, London, all these big time players that have huge headquarters for big corporations, San Francisco, and we're not allowed to compete like that. Chicago, Miami.
Right.
We're not allowed to compete with the tech sector. So to be honest, I thought that was so irresponsible.
And that's why the overly against capitalism shit that is infiltrating politics more is dangerous in a way.
It is.
You know,
It is. You got anything else?
Nah, shout out to Amazon though.
Yeah, shout out to Amazon, and also fuck you, Amazon.
Yeah, grow some hair, Bezos. Grow some hair. Grow some nut hair.
Mm.
Anyway, my last part, and I'm hopefully everybody will enjoy this. We didn't put up the program. I'm so sorry, Cliff. So if you need pictures, my bad.
Yeah,
and you couldn't take any pictures anyway. I went to at a spur of the moment, by the way. That's another reason why it's so last minute. One of my homeboys, Crayon Codes, I used to manage him. He still is a rapper. He's still a great performing artist. He lives in Nevada right now.
Manager.
I used to manage music. Yes.
Okay.
I used to manage. I know I'm older. I know I'm way older. I am. But I used to manage a rock band, and I used to manage him. And he did he was a rapper. I'm not gonna try to like box him in or over genre him. But anyway, so, and actually some of the details of how I got it too, I gotta leave out. So he last minute,
was it your tongue? Did you get him with your tongue?
No.
You know what I
mean? He was supposed to bring someone else, and the person got COVID. And so shout out to COVID. That's how this person called me and was like, yo, I can't bring this person. She called COVID.
Seize up.
Yeah, exactly. Seize up. Seize up. V's down. Vaccines down.
The first time I ever heard anybody shout out COVID. I just want to let you know the first time I heard anybody shout out COVID.
Seize up. V's down.
Here you go. There's a bunch of firsts from here, man. We pop cherries all the time. So be careful.
Pause.
Be careful with that.
Butt cherries? Which one?
Oh, my bad. What was that? What was I saying? My bad. You guys.
COVID. Funny. Shout out COVID.
Oh yeah. So I got an extra ticket, by the way, to Kevin Hart and Chris Rock. And Chris Rock I'm biased right now. He's my favorite comedian of all time, like ever. And I love stand-up comedy.
He's a legend for sure.
I love Richard Pryor. I love George Carlin, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Margaret Cho. I'm a big fan of comedy. Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, so many, even new ones, Yvonne Orji. I'm a big fan of even comedic actors like Issa Rae. Like comedy comes from all forms. Aquafina, I was a big fan of her show when she was on Girl Code, and that's where Charlemagne the God comes from, Guy Code. Huge stand-up comedian, and I'm a huge Dave Chappelle. So that gets to it. Dave Chappelle gave a guest appearance. It was perfect. I was actually gonna go see them. They're actually billed. I still actually might go see them because I'm obsessed with Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. So Chris Rock is doing a set in September. I think it's at the Barclays with Dave Chappelle. They're both on the bill. But Dave Chappelle's been run out at a bunch of performances recently. He was actually, I don't know where it was recently, but it was at a school. And he was, there you go, a Minneapolis venue. And they had to cancel because it got too woke. They
had to cancel because all the woke morons that work there were like, we're not coming to work if Dave Chappelle's performing.
That's what it was.
I don't need your ideology bleeding at my workplace. Sorry. Like I'm probably on their side, but like don't bring that to work. Sorry. And I'm with Ted Sarandos too from Netflix with Dave Chappelle. At first he was, and I get it. Again, you need to, it's not that I'm not empathetic towards employees or like, and I haven't been on management side too long either. Maybe that might change. But nah, man. Nah. This is work. Like, unless you're on the creative side, I get it. If you're a producer, but if you're just like doing ad space or something like that, or if you're like just like trying to get people to subscribe to Netflix, shut the fuck up. Like, right. Whoa. And Ted Sarandos was like, yo, and for real, if you really don't like what we're doing at Netflix, why are you working here? Go somewhere else. And I remember when I worked at a French company that one of my colleagues said that. She was from Brussels and she worked in France. And she was like, what's HR? And I'm like, it's human resources. It's a middle person between manager, which I agree with. I think it's useful. And she put me in a reality check. She was like, we don't have that in Europe. And I'm like, why not? What do you do if like you have a problem with your boss or like, with a coworker, you need a mediator, you need a third party? And she goes, well, if we don't like the job, we leave. And honestly, she's right. She's right in a sense, but we're so spoiled. We're so spoiled when it comes to that. In other countries, the unemployment rate's like 30-40%. Like we flip out if it gets to 7.
Facts. Go crazy.
So anyway, back to Dave Chappelle. He opened and he touched on all that. And to be honest, he was very sensitive too. He was like, it's crazy. Like I said these jokes. This happened like 6 months ago, even more than that. And I'm still living
because
through
he's
it.
a comedian, not a piece of shit.
I know people attacked him, and he was also confused. I was confused with him. Why is this person only getting a misdemeanor? He made a joke too. He's like, well, now I'm going to tackle everybody because it only costs $3,000. I'm like, oh, you going to see me tackling everybody now because it's like no consequences. So I'm with them. And that was the theme of the night, actually. I'm not going to go into all the jokes. You'll see the special. They're recording it. They all have Netflix deals. So you're going to see it. It's hilarious. All 3 of them. Even Kevin Hart. I'm not the biggest Kevin Hart fan, but Chris Rock was my favorite. Dave Chappelle killed it. And not that Kevin Hart's a bad comedian. He's a legend. He's the man. He should be.
His last special was his best special, by the way.
I agree. And I didn't even love all of it, but there were some parts that just like made me really, really laugh. Like
me too.
A part with his father on. Again, I'm not gonna get into it, but the theme of it was, why are we listening to all the crazies all of a sudden? What's going on here? Like, when did comedians become the villain? Before they used to be the honest think piece. Before the parody and the satire. Once you got through it, you were like, hold up, is this satire or is this The Onion or is this real news? Is this The Daily Show? That's why it was so funny, because the comedians actually started telling the real news more than mainstream media. And I hate using that word. I think it's so lazy, but I get it. And so, I'm with all the comedians. So to cap myself, that was the theme. I know you guys have a lot to say for that, but the theme was, when do we get to uncancel each other? When does the victims look like the actual oppressors? Because they're attacking them. They're threatening his life at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, how mad do you have to be that like you're going to do that to someone, that you're going to physically harm them because you feel that the words have obstructed your environment, which that's a feeling at this point because it's subjective. We don't know that. We're not in your body. We don't know your whole situation. You're just telling us that his words, which I doubt, by the way. I would challenge anybody to tell me that someone started beating, let's say, a trans person. I did it because Dave Chappelle said it. I would dare you to find me that footage. I would dare you to find me that person. Right. And if it is, shut me up. Shut me up. Stage it like Jussie Smollett. I'll be gullible for a little while. Go ahead.
And quite the opposite. The people that are rushing the stage, you know, like even Will Smith has an effect on this. They're actually emboldening.
He talked about it, by the way. Everybody thought Chris Rock wasn't going to. He definitely did. He talked about it a lot.
Right. Well, now it's in the bit. Now he's worked it into a bit fully. You know, he wasn't gonna. He's like, this is a bit. He's like, I'm not just gonna talk about it. He's like, now you're gonna pay for this shit, is what he said.
Exactly.
Word. But like, not only is Dave Chappelle not emboldening trans hate on the street, the people that are attacking comedians are emboldening people to attack people, and that's actually the worst part of it.
Plot twist.
Right. Right. Wow. So what do you think overall about all that, TJ?
Listen, Dave Chappelle is the most polarizing comedian of our time. When he went absent, we thought Kevin Hart was. Then Dave Chappelle came back, and he showed you this is what a new age comedian is. That's what we do. So he's pushing the needle as far as being a comedic genius. Like, not only is he doing comedy, but he's doing it in a way where he's still talking about these topics and doing it his own way. I can't see about any other comedian that can do that right now, what Dave Chappelle is doing.
Right. It's the oldest form of comedy. That's actually the OG shit.
Who's doing that? Who's still doing that? No one but him. People are terrified.
Yeah.
They're terrified.
Yeah. Bill Burr is pretty open.
Yeah.
As far as like notable people, probably Burr. Like, thank God for people like that, right? Thank God for Bill Burr.
He's getting a little conservative too, though. But as we get older, we all change and stuff. So I'm not blaming him. That's all good. But like, I saw his last special, and I'm not gonna lie, I will watch it eventually, all of it. But he started getting old man on me, like grumpy.
No, the first 10 minutes
and getting all upset about like, all right, bro. Like,
no, but that's what needs to get done, though.
World, bro. They're not.
But that's what needs to be done. Comedy is supposed to talk about the uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean that he shouldn't talk about that. He can do whatever he wants, and I'm a fan. I'm always going to try to watch. I'm always going to try to understand him. But as a capitalist, I'm allowed to turn it off too. Like, I'm allowed to be like, just like the people that were disgusted and feel like Dave Chappelle is punching down, which I don't agree. I think there are comedians that punch down in that community, and in general, I think they do, including myself. I used to fat joke a lot. and I don't do it anymore because I felt it was just mean. I live in a country is like the biggest country in the world. Like
Jokes are jokes, man.
They are no. I'm just saying
Yeah.
everybody has their own style, but I'm not gonna stop someone else. I'm not gonna stop anybody coming at Lizzo. Even though I'm a big Lizzo fan. I'm with you. Jokes are jokes. To make a long story short, jokes are jokes. They're very, very few, and I don't think that like they should be prosecuted or anything like that. But there are very few where I'm just like, dude, that's really bad taste. Like that's
because you could tell it's rooted.
It's very you
in
can
hate.
tell the root of it. You're like, dude, what are you doing in your personal life? What's going on? It's very rare occasions where that happens to me. But otherwise, it's all fair game. It's all fair game.
And plus, you gotta put the time in to be able to. You just can't come off the back talking about wild shit. I feel like you really gotta put the time in, get some shows, get some experience in there before you can try to jump off the ledge, like a Dave Chappelle, maybe we can, like a Bill Burr. Maybe we can throw a Kevin Hart in there, but
he's not. Yeah, but he don't talk sensitive shit.
Shit on Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart.
Very good on this one. He was more raw than I've ever seen him, to be honest.
I was just saying he was that guy until Dave came back. I was like, damn, this is real.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's a little more of a PG comedian overall.
Not this one. He was
good.
Oh yeah, he was. And you're right. I think in the last one too, he was cursing a little bit more too.
A little more.
And that's funny because when he first started on the Def Comedy Jam circuit and Comic Relief on BET, shout out to the person who thought I didn't know black content. My dad actually used to work for Quicks Cable and Time Warner, so he used to get passes to Def Jam and Comic View. Not Comic Relief, sorry. Oh wow, I just did myself. Comic View. And he used to host it. And he was, oh my God, soul plane. He was totally different. And then you're right. He became more of a family product. And good for him. Good for him. He made way more money doing that.
The most, from a financial standpoint, the most successful stand-up comedian ever.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, he said it, and he had the right to brag about it. He's the richest stand-up comedian ever. Well, not sorry. That's Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. But you're right. As far as like, actually, you're right. In the modern time, my bad. As far as like accumulated wealth, it's still Jerry Seinfeld. You're right. In the last like 10 years, I don't think anybody made more money than Kevin Hart.
But like Kevin Hart did it from a diversity of projects, where Seinfeld was mostly Seinfeld,
which is kind of impressive that he only did
of course
content. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
And Larry David did it again with Curb Your Enthusiasm, like about to go on his 13th season. So that dude, he's my I'm always gonna be biased with that.
Right.
That's fine. Dave Chappelle, thank you, Dave Chappelle. We appreciate you, Dave Chappelle. Thank you.
Hell yeah. I appreciate anybody.
They gave him a gift. Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle. It was mad fun. And they all came out together at the very end. They didn't do a bit. It was like they were just Dave Chappelle was mad drunk and he was just like saying mad stuff. It was hilarious. And they brought out a real goat. And they were like, we need to give you your flowers, Chris. And I was again, I'm a big fan. So I was just like, thank you. Yeah. And you don't have to agree that he's a goat, but there's a lot of people who agree with it. And
he's one of the goats, for sure.
I agree. No, it's okay.
He's on Mount Rushmore.
I'm admitting to you that I'm biased. But if you told me Robin Williams is the best, I can't argue that. If Richard Pryor's the best, Red Fox, all good. Yeah. All good. Yeah. I'm with you. Same thing when and I hate to homie hop on the topics. But when people tell me, I think MJ is the best, even though I was a Knick fan back in the day and I hated him, I accepted that he was the best. He's the GOAT. But if someone comes in and goes, nah, Kareem's the best, I'm like, damn, I can't argue that. I can't argue that. So the same thing with those. I can't really argue that.
It's subjective, man. Everything's subjective.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so great. The GOAT conversations that we have, we had about rap and we had about MCs. They're awesome. It's very rare to have those people in those conversations. So when you get a chance.
And that's why Dave Chappelle is so important.
I agree.
Because we cannot allow speech to be continued to be policed and taken away. Because that is how they can control us even more if they get more control along those lines.
In a very controllable media already.
Right. Got to be able to talk, man.
That's it. That's all I got on that. I'm ready to get onto DMs when you guys are.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready for DMs.
Ready? All right, TJ, hit us off. This is the last one. This is the cool down, guys. I talked a lot, so I don't have a cool down this week. I basically said my cool down, my event from last night. Thank you, Crayon Co's. TJ, hit us off with your cool down.
Hey, so I got the cool down today?
Yeah, you got the cool down. You the cool homie today, man.
Keep up podcast. Y'all do y'all guess right. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Man. I appreciate that. But just for the cool down, man, I want to talk about some DM diving.
Okay, thirsty DMs,
Yeah.
sliding into the DM.
And I only speak from experience whenever I talk. So I just want to know, I share mine recently that, something I got into recently with DMs, but I want to know, like, what's the wildest or the craziest DM y'all ever sent? Or maybe a wild DM that y'all received, y'all gotten before.
Oh, that changes the whole game. Like when you said what you got, when you said send, we've been guys for a very long time, and we've been in very stages of our lives. But basically, we all started off as dirtbags.
That's a fact. I missed the train. I missed the train a little bit with the dirty DMs because I've been in a relationship, for 12 years, and I'm not a scumbag. So
shout out to your homegirl. I love the way your partner covers his ass. It's good. I like that. We all appreciate that.
You know what I mean? I've never received or sent anything inappropriate in these 12 years or before.
And we're sticking to that. We're taking a toxic masculinity trait, and we're sticking to that story.
That's right.
Man code.
That's
Mina, do not tell my wife about.
No, we will not. We don't even know her name, and we won't.
All right,
we love
Mina.
you, bro. We need to keep you as a producer, and if we snitch, it's like Kobe and Shaq. We're like, no.
Yeah. But my shit's simple, and then I'll let Vin take it away because he probably got more stories along. Honestly, the crazy shit I ever got was like I've had females hit on me in the DM too, but dudes hitting on me in the DM. Like I had this one dude hit me a couple years ago, and he's like, "Hey, I watch a lot of your content, and I'm not sure if you're open to this, but like he's like, I'm gonna be in your state, and I was wondering if we can meet up and just talk." And I'm like, "Hey, listen, bro." I'm like, "No knocking you, good luck with that." You know what I mean? I was like, "But I'm good."
Knock boots.
You better than me, man. You better than me. I probably wouldn't have responded. Like you. Man.
Hey, it's good to feel loved. Like I said, 12 years. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess so. I guess you're right. I guess you're right on that.
I mean? But that would be mine, man. Just that dude. But he was actually he's like, "Do you mind if I send you a picture?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro." I had to block him because he was like, he kept going. You know what I mean?
I give you the whole rollout.
Yeah. He's trying to get. Yeah. He's trying to get the dick pic from the right angle and everything.
DMs, and he rejected me. Actually, the story's about me, and then we and this is how this whole came about, man. Thank you, Cliff, for not being too weirded out that we can continue to make content together. I appreciate that.
That's hilarious.
DMs, like direct messaging for people who don't know what DMs are. Direct messaging really changed the game, though. Like it really changed the game, especially once they figured out how important, how big it was on social media. On social media, you just had a comment section.
Yeah,
it was public where you had to make your move on the comments, on the pictures, or whatever have you. Now it can get a little bit more personal where you can actually, send a little message to the person, right? You ain't got to go over to them in person. Sometimes they getting so sticky where they got the phone and the FaceTime button in the DMs.
Right.
You don't even got it right. You can call it right from the DMs.
Right.
So it's so
real.
It's so convenient and so easy to DM somebody now. So that's what I kind of been doing lately. I've been dating lately, so my DM game been a little bit different. So I got a girlfriend, right? So now when I DM dive, like I still DM dive, but I do it on the basis of having a threesome.
Oh, you
fishing to the beach.
Recently, I've been in my DM bag trying to see if I can fish a threesome.
Recruiting's important.
I'm in a different land, I'm in a different world. I just want to see like what my skills at, if I can even pull it off. So
is wifey down?
Yes, and she is.
Kudos, shout out to her. Shout out to COVID, and shout out to your partner. Yeah. More aim. Yep. Aim needs to be wild too.
Wait, now it's C's down and V's up. Because we need another vagina.
All day.
Yeah.
Three's up. You gotta do each vagina.
The thing is, something I can do is something I can pull it. She made it into a competition almost. I can do it before you even can. You even can do it.
Oh, she'll win.
Is this like a pyramid scheme or a three-way? I don't understand this. Like,
separately, I've been sliding some DMs lately trying to see if I can pull off a threesome. But I just been throwing random shit trying to see if I can get a nibble on the line.
Yeah.
Like I don't even
She
know.
might be
Sometimes
putting you in a trap, bro. Because if she got you recruiting, I don't know. Women are the ones that are the best at recruiting that.
Yeah, I got wifey.
I
got
really
wifey on that one.
she's testing my gangster, and
That's
I'm
what I'm
with
saying.
her.
I think she is.
Fuck
I'm not
that
trying to
shit.
gaslight you, but I
That's my
think
gangster there.
she's trying to test you, bro. Because
Ooh.
one of my girls, actually my longest relationship, she did that near the end, and it was a test, and I failed. And I failed. She was just, and she even said it to her homegirls. I was like, yeah, and they were like, well, remember when you were looking for that threesome? Whatever. I was like, she offered her, and she was like, it was a test. I was like, oh, excuse me.
Oops.
Well, I thought she already knew I was a bad test taker. So, like, you know, fool on her. Fool on her. She definitely wanted the relationship to fail.
Right.
Like it's funny because the women, the girls, they instantly hit you with, "Don't you got a girlfriend?" Yes, she knows what's up. Are you still down? Are you interested? Like I'm being 100%.
Girl, you know what's up.
What's up? Like yeah, but I had only had 2 nibbles on the line, and I had 1 bad reply. I had like a maybe reply. So I'm still working on it, man. I'm still working on my DM diving. Hopefully I can get some advice from the keep up listeners out there, or the crazy but truers who's listening. How do I even approach the new age DM diving? I even got a girlfriend. So how do you even DM dive with a girlfriend? I'm just going straight to the point. I ain't even beating around the bush. I'm going straight to the point.
Well, I'm probably a bad person to ask because I've been single since 2014. So yeah, it's almost been a decade. So, but I definitely DM dive people, and especially with the erotic content. I didn't even know my tongue was that erotic, but it certainly is. I remember.
Oh, did you see this man's tongue, TJ? This motherfucker is an alien, son.
So when I was in middle school, I went to a YMCA camp. I went to a school in a very impoverished area, and again, I live in a very impoverished area, so we qualified to go to camp for free. I used to go to winter camp. I used to go to day camp for the YMCA. So one year we did a talent show, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't got talents like that. And somebody was like, and somebody knew about my tongue, and they were like, Vince, you got to show that at the talent show. And I'm like, and I still did it reluctantly. I still did it, was like, whatever. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Because you know me, I'm a ham. I like, okay, fine. You feel that I could do that? I'm a performer, so whatever. So I went up, and I still had no idea it was going to get this kind of like reaction. And I was barely into girls at the time. I was into nobody. I was like, I don't even think I was peating my pepper at all, at my pecker at all yet.
Also, this was pre-pecker. This was pre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I noticed girls, but it was like, I like you. It was like my girl. It was like Macaulay Culkin. Let me
show you what my tongue can do, girl. It wasn't.
Yeah. So that's what they did. That's what they did. So I did it, and I won. I didn't know that. Like, what? I won the talent show. I had no expectations.
That's what I'm saying. You had a talent, but you didn't know what kind of talent you had at the moment.
Yeah. And nobody from my age group came up to me, girl-wise, but everybody from the older camps and women that shouldn't have been coming up to me. Oh, what's that tongue doing? Oh, yo, could we hang out? Oh, could you come to my dance? Can you come to my formal? Oh, yo, what's your schedule like? Do you want to do archery together?
Oh, man.
So I'm not gonna lie, I really want that show to pop off, and so I'm gonna calm down a little bit because Cliff is right. He's a great producer. He's a great, and he does well on his own social media, right? And I don't want to oversaturate with that. That's why we talked. I don't want to overwork anybody. That's why I don't want to make another TikTok account because like we're already struggling to keep up. But we'll see. We'll see if we have.
You know what, Vin? This is what happens, right? When you put up a video. And we talked about this.
Yeah.
When you put up a video and it gets a nice pop, it doesn't matter what it is. As content creators and attention seekers, you then say to yourself, oh, I need more attention. And the next thing you know, you're the tongue guy. You know what I mean? This guy will be fucking tying cherries by next week.
No,
if we don't control him.
You know I'm going to go with your advice, but I'm gonna push back a little bit too. That's how TikTok works. Like,
no, it's good for TikTok. For TikTok, I think you should do it.
Oh, that's why I erased the videos. And I'm sorry, I'm giving you guys all the behind the scenes, but that's why you're right. I listened to you. I erased all the ones that weren't doing that well, and I'm done. On YouTube, I did my thing. That one went really viral, and I don't think I can replicate that. That's fine. I don't want to. That's another good point too. I just want to. Thank you, Mina. You're not single either, Mina. No, I'm joking. But anyway, no, I'm with you. But on TikTok, I get it a little bit, and it's not original content either. It's me responding to them. And I've noticed even though you're right, it's a delicate balance because I don't want it to be a tongue niche. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be like a thought. I want to guide them there. I want to like, cool. The gays love the tongue. The women love the tongue. That's great. Great. Now you get to hear, and you're right. It doesn't have to be just a news source clip. I get you. Like you want it to be credible, but we're also like kind of casual with it too. So like that's fine. Like there could be some sex symbols. Nay could do a twerking video. If TJ wants to, oh my God. And I'm not gonna lie, I am considering OnlyFans. I need to fund this project, man. I need to Patreon. I'm struggling with freaking all the crowdsource stuff, man. OnlyFans, man, to to pay Cliff. I might have to do OnlyFans just to pay Cliff.
Man. Stop, get it on.
And yeah, that's where it all started. Oh, and kudos to Josh, by the way. We reconciled, so I'm not gonna say it anymore. Obviously, it's my most conservative friend, and he's the one who encouraged me. There's a woman on TikTok named Venom's Girl, and he told me to respond, and that's how it all popped up. And they all started like really liking it. The main one where I'm like doing the side view of it, that's the one that got 10K. That's the one I know.
Wow, it went crazy though.
I know I'm like resorting to the thirst buckets out there. But yo, I care about this show and I want to get the views up. So
there you go. Hey, whatever.
But on the same thing, if y'all want to check out my OnlyFans, I got feet content. I got
this motherfucker could tow a truck with that thing.
And I'll keep it short. Yes, that's the wildest DMs I've been getting. Even people from high school, gay people.
Wow.
And that's where. So one gay person from high school was like this, yo, send me out of nowhere, send me full chub for $50. And I left them on red for like mad long. And I told my cousin, and my cousin was like, what's wrong with you? How come you didn't do it? And I'm like, what? And I just felt like it would like open Pandora's box. I was just like, that's like a whole career, like being an exhibitionist. Like I gotta like. But I'm not gonna lie. I said to myself, like after she spoke to me, I was like,
It works.
Am I being like a prude? Am I?
Say no more. It works.
And that woman that was an EMT, when she almost got shamed, and everybody came to her defense, I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna be like, yo, so she's not allowed to get shamed, but I am. So we'll see. We'll see.
No, listen, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like we just gotta keep it, keep it like somewhat contained. I just don't want you to become fucking tongue
Magic Mike.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
You don't want to be called Channing Tatum over there?
Right. Did you hear? Hey, Keep Up, the show, that really like interesting show with like debates and cool topics. No. Oh, that guy with the long ass tongue. Oh yeah, that guy. You know what I mean?
It's like we all need a sex symbol, yo. You need to step up. If you want to be the sex symbol clip, you need to figure out your gimmick.
Man boobs. Man boobs.
I got the boob sweat today. I got the.
I'm gonna do.
That's my wildest DM. That's
man boob porn.
Wow.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, but bro, I swear to you, Vin. All jokes aside, like I'll talk my shit about it. But I never in my goddamn life seen a human being with a tongue like that. Like I thought it was CGI. I'm like, this shit is CGI.
I'm retiring. This is the only time you'll see it on this show. Because again, you're right. I don't want it to become this.
Tongue guy over here. No, but it's good for the TikTok though, for sure. I think for TikTok it's good to fuck around a little bit.
Yes,
YouTube occamonly, you know what I mean? You just don't want to flood the YouTube with fucking the tongue.
You're right,
shit.
It's got to come naturally. But yeah, I'm gonna try. I've held back for mad long. Like I don't even for myself, I don't want that to identify me.
Yeah.
So that's why like people are all shocked because like I'm always talking and I never whip out my tongue. I never go like, I'm not like MJ, like
that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit had me crying.
Me too. I'm fucking hot, Mina. God damn, me too.
that shit had me fucking crying.
Tell your husband we got a group shower going on, man. And TJ, he can't be the only one having fun. So I'm recruiting your husband.
Hey,
Let's get this going.
This motherfucker could lick the top of someone's ass line all the way to their fucking.
He probably did some wild shit.
He's lying, but
He probably did some wild shit,
bro. But Vin, that's also why on the YouTube I put the playlist now, and I put Vinsane shorts. So like those are okay to be a little more wild.
Yeah, we just want separate. It should be
Yeah,
separate.
like keep it
Like
with the
Wu-Tang.
brand.
We're all Wu-Tang production, but like we all get our own solo stuff too. And even when
Right.
you say with Drew Hill, man, same thing, same now.
Right. And now that you put the tongue out there like that, I think I might associate Keep Up with the Wiggers a little more. Because I think the tongue might be more offensive. The tongue might be more offensive.
Oh wow, I made Cliff blush.
If it were,
You know what, Vince? And I'm not even gonna go. You guys gotta watch the content on the Wiggers podcast. So I'm not even gonna like spoil anything. But if you think that mine can stack up with that.
Yeah,
shout out to Fire Crotch, by the way, Uncle Dusty. I love that.
Uncle
homie.
Dusty, yeah, Uncle Dusty. Y'all should, TJ. We'll get you up. If you like to have fun, we'll get you over there one day too.
You'd be a great guest.
That's me and my man Uncle Dust. That's the original Wiggers comedy podcast. That's just satire, fuck around. Like what I do here occasionally with the jokes is pretty much what we do for 2 hours over there the whole time. You know what I mean?
That's what's going on.
Oh shit, they swing.
Hey,
look at that.
Oh, okay. Swing.
I had a feeling. I think Nina's been trying to recruit me. I think she needs a fat white guy. I've been noticing.
Oh, that happens. Who's that comedian Samore? Where she was like, yo, don't bring the bling bling if you ain't got that swing.
Right.
Swinging is like very normal now. It's always been happening. It's not ever not been happening. But people are way more accepting of it now. So
okay, Vin. So our 1 hour podcast, our strict 1 hour podcast is now officially a 2 hour today, which I love. Oh, I'm with it. Had a good time.
And I'm done.
Got anything else?
That's it for me, unless you guys.
You don't want to like lift up a forklift with your tongue or something real quick?
Please don't.
That's it. That's all you guys get. Next episode, no tongue.
No
tongue. No French kissing, only American crew kissing. Anyway, thank you so much, TJ. Thank you, Cliff, as always. Yo, this guy promotes the crap out of this show. Again, I was trying to get on his level. Like, this guy does a great job attracting followers, likes, and views. Of course, I had to go the thotty route because I'm not as talented. So I had this show at Free the Nipple. Oh man, pasty nipple. Wow. That's a farmer's king. Whoa. Anyway,
you got the small
biracial Mina. That's the biracial check.
You got the smallest nipples for a guy with a 3-foot tongue I ever seen.
Go find the beach. Go find a beach, man. Go lay out.
I know. Dude, I'll be outside. I'll be right. I need a beach.
We need a DNA test.
You gotta invite us to South Beach. We got to do a South Beach episode.
We need a DNA test. I think Elizabeth Warren is more Native American than you are black.
Actually, I'm not Native American at all. Black people love to do that. I'm trying to hair, blah, blah, blah. And then we looked at answer.com and I was like, yo, we have no Native American. You guys are liars. Liars. But but you're right. It's questionable. My dad's pretty yellow too. He's like a big Winnie the Pooh bear. So like,
wow.
Yeah, so it's questionable. We don't like, I know the DNA thing said it, but who knows if I'm black.
They just sent me a jar of mayo.
Right,
they were like
a jar of mayo. You are kind of a miracle whip. You are kind of.
We've never seen white like this before, buddy.
White like this. All right. Thank you guys.
Wrap
white
it up.
Passing. Yes, I am very white passing. Actually, a lot of people think I'm Spanish, but you're right. Once I start talking, they're like, "Oh, this white guy."
You're ambiguous.
That's another thing. Code switching. That's a whole nother topic. Which, whatever. But again, TJ, you're one of my favorite hosts.
Man, it was a pleasure.
You are my favorite podcast right now, especially the TV podcast scene. Oh, absolutely. I've said that many times. I wasn't joking. Obviously, like the main players, everybody knows, like Joe Rogan, Joe Budden, freaking Nicki Minaj. There's so many great podcasts out there. And we're part of the indie scene. And that's not a knock, by the way. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But in the indie scene, you are the best out there. Oh, my
man,
God.
we trying.
You are all types of charts for me. Shout out to the crew. Shout out to Nay out there. Yo, it's been a pleasure. And I'm not ending it. I want you to shout out your people too. I want Cliff to get his shout outs and including his great fan base. Thank you so much. Your fan base comes out to play with us all the time. And it's keep getting into our comment threads. Go onto our Instagram. Go onto our TikTok if you want to see some thotty stuff. Go to our YouTube shorts, which again, we're going to try to diversify a little bit, try to get Nay some videos because she makes really good TikTok videos too. And we can repurpose that. She's amazing. Everybody's really entertaining over here. And I'm going to give the floor to you guys. So please listen to our show on all platforms. Go follow us on social media. Listen to these guys.
Yeah. Hey, y'all heard him. I'm TJ Cool Ass Man from Crazy But True, the podcast. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Any platform you have, we're on there. Just type us in, click follow. That's all you gotta do. We'll do the rest. And shout out to my crazy but true, all the fans out there. Shout out to my other co-hosts, Westside, TBE, Key. Shout out to them. Episode dropping tomorrow. Make sure you go to the YouTube, you subscribe, you like, hit the bell. You do all the good stuff they tell you how to do. You did.
My man. So as for me, citydon'tsleep.com will bring you to everything. We got Wednesdays, Original Wiggers. That's around 9:30, 9:40, because the Wigger always runs a little late. And then we got Friday. That's Regis and
Wigger
Cliffy
people
Lee.
time.
yeah. We got Fridays at midnight. That's what my brother Absolute, Regis and Cliffy Lee.
Okay.
Saturdays, some fight sports reaction videos, and Sundays, of course, keep up. So appreciate.
Full plate.
Yeah, man. I'm trying, bro. Trying, man.
Yo, pause. He can barely fit me in. It happens, man.
Pause.
Anyway, to get us out of here, you better listen up, shut up, and keep up. With my homeboy TJ Cool Ass and my super duper producer Cliff Focus. Over and out, homies.